began physically fighting. Janice says the man fired a shot into the ground, but then eventually took off. Police arrested him 5 days later. Could be the hottest ticket in the history of St. Louis University basketball, the Chaffetz Arena. The number 21 nationally ranked Billikens take on Dayton tonight. Former SLU coach Travis Ford.
Boy, they gelled together very, very, very quickly. Look like they've been together for 10, 15 years.
KMOX will have the game broadcast with Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. starting tonight at 7. From the business desk, changes coming to St. Louis Lambert International, the airport rolling out clear e-gates. With these new gates, Check Plus members will be able to verify their identity in under 5 seconds, bypassing TSA and going directly to the physical screening area. More than 30 airports across the country have already launched the gates and say they've made the travel process more efficient.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Brisk and bitterly cold today with sun and clouds. The day will end cloudy, the high only 19.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it's 9 degrees and sunny. The weather sponsored by S&L Coin. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called The Show.
Yeah. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning, friends. We are live at the Billiken Grill. The Billiken Grill at Bush Student Center.
The Grilliken.
It is not.
I'm
okay,
working
yeah,
on it.
Here we are.
They
No,
haven't changed the sign yet.
I would not workshop that if I were you.
It's too late. I've already started the workshop.
314-436-7900. Join the show today by calling and texting. You can leave voice messages on the Odyssey app as well. And if you wouldn't mind, watch us. Well, you can see most of us. I'm just off camera. It's
and if
fine.
you do watch us on the YouTube,
you can see our Billiken
You can
socks.
see our Billiken socks.
That's right. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We are at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
We got the Billiken Blizzard tonight, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Very
The
excited.
Billikens take on Dayton. This is a huge game tonight.
Ranked number 21.
In the country.
21st rated team in the country.
And I'm making this our number 2. A 68-year-old hairstylist fends off an armed carjacker in Florissant. It's an amazing story, so I'm excited to talk about that
I
one.
can't wait to hear about this one. We've got Hancock and Kelly with us.
Hey, guys.
Here they are.
You know what I find?
We just heard from the governor. The governor, Mike Kehoe.
We
was
did.
in.
You know what I find fascinating?
What's that?
So we all wear shoes, and shoes have sizes.
Yeah.
Socks do not.
No, socks have sizes, John.
Small,
What
medium,
size?
and large.
What size is that sock?
This is okay. It's between 9 and 12, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Something like that.
Well,
Socks.
So they have
stretch.
ranges.
Ranges.
They don't have sizes. I just find that interesting.
Right. Well, they stretch.
I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen a sock.
I cannot
before,
wear
but they stretch.
my wife's socks.
When was the last time you bought a size for anything that wasn't extra large?
Oh, that's rude.
Well, no, I just was sitting here thinking, since I've been a grown man, whether it's socks, hand gloves, clothes, underwear, I'm getting
Super
the extra
rude.
large.
I have matriculated into the 2X era for most things.
Yeah. Well, how often are you trying to put on Georgianne's socks?
Well, they end up in my sock drawer on
Yeah.
occasion, and I put them on. And
You already put John Jr.'s pants on.
I did
will
do that.
Ever top that day? Of all the things John Hancock has done, that was one of the best, because when Amy looked at him and said, "John, what's with your pants?
Why are your pants so short?"
That's right, when he wore the short pants.
Yeah.
Because he's got long legs, his inseam's like 38.
No, 34.
They call him the stork.
I was the stork back in the day. Yes.
Yeah.
When I was executing on the basketball court.
When you were dunking basketballs.
Okay, John, could you have made this team and played against Dayton tonight?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you guys just spoke to the governor, Mike Kehoe.
We did.
He left the building just a bit
That
ago.
was super
He's in
cool.
St.
That
Louis.
wasn't expected when we started the day, was it?
I was expecting it, but yeah.
Did you not tell Michael that he was going to be here?
I did at some point.
Oh.
It was a game day decision.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I walked in, you were standing outside, and I thought, oh, he's having a heater right now. And no, he was waiting for the governor to show up.
Yes. And there he was.
So what did you guys take away from the interview? I know you talked a little bit about the proposal to eliminate income tax in the state of Missouri. There are people who are clearly in favor of it, and then there are others who think it could lead to unintended consequences.
Well, he talked about $9 billion. Think about that. And if he's going to do away with the state income tax, they have to replace that $9 billion. So how do they do that? One of the biggest questions I had for him was, doesn't it hurt people at the low end the most? He made the argument that that wasn't the case. But I would argue that we're just going to shift the taxes from income to now fees and all these other things that are going to hurt a lot of people at the lower end. But I get that there's this obsession that if you have no state income tax, that's the reason people are moving to states. I don't buy that. I don't believe that we're going to suddenly see some huge influx of people into Missouri because it's not Texas, Arizona, or Florida where we have sunshine.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. If you look at states that don't have income tax, state income tax, it is like a Florida or even a state like Wyoming where it's big tourism with skiing, with the national parks. You have states that have massive sexy draws, for lack of a better term. They're big sexy draws when you're looking at Wyoming, when you're looking at Florida, when you're looking at Alaska. So does Missouri fit into that category? Because I feel like we don't have those same draws to get that type of money.
We've got sexy drawers.
Branson?
Yeah, I mean, the governor did mention tourism's our second largest industry in the state. So, I mean, we do have how many people come to see the Cardinals from all across the Midwest here? You mentioned Branson, which is a massive tourist destination every year, the Lake of the Ozarks.
But it's not Disney World. No. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It's not Disney World.
It's still the second largest industry in the state, and I don't remember the number he quoted for $20 billion, was it, that is spent here on tourism. And so, I think it worked. And he also brought up Kansas experiment with eliminating the income tax. In Kansas, I think we've all learned a lesson from them. They get rid of the income tax in one fell swoop and massively cut their expenditures instead of finding revenue from elsewhere. And what the governor's proposing is that we gradually scale back the income tax until it gets to zero over a 5-year or so period and replace that with incremental increases in the sales tax and broadening those things that are taxable for sales tax.
But John, they're going to implement new taxes. There's a lot of services right now aren't taxed. So if you cut hair for a living, you don't pay that tax. Guess what? You're going to start. If you're a consultant, a lawyer, an accountant, we're going to suddenly see taxes on that type of work. If you own a large business, you're suddenly going to start paying licensing fees, permitting fees. So aren't we just really shifting the tax burden from the income tax to other places that may not be prepared for it? Not to mention the argument that I've already made that it's going to hurt those at the lowest the most.
So they've done the models, and if you eliminate the income tax and assume the increase in the sales tax and the broadening of the sales tax base, the average family is going to have less money in taxes that they spend. Why? Because a good chunk of the revenue from general revenue is going to be paid by out-of-state people who are paying sales tax as tourists, hotel motel taxes, rental car taxes that are paid by non-Missourians.
This is everything is so complicated, the way legislation is written and how different programs fund, economic development and charities. And I know that some charitable programs are tied into the Department of Economic Development, which is tied into state tax credit liability and tax credits. Mm-hmm. So what about those charitable programs? Just because all the dominoes begin to fall, what happens to those charitable programs?
Yeah, and that will be an impact because there are some tax credits given to taxpayers who make donations to certain charities. Mm-hmm. As a matter of public policy, I don't know if the government should be picking winners and losers among nonprofits in the first place. But they will certainly have some effects there.
If you've put some, and again, just looking at, I can see the arguments on both sides. But if you've already built a structure where you do have certain charitable organizations that are being held up, buttressed by these tax credits, and you may say, well, the government shouldn't pick and choose, and you agree with that sentiment, but you don't want to kick the legs out from under some of the charities that we have. So are there steps to help maybe wean them off those credits? Or, I mean, how does that work that you're not kicking legs?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know the governor said that he was going to have numbers out, and I believe he said later in the week, but it's Friday.
Well, yeah.
So I'm not sure when the numbers are coming that would show that people on the lower end would end up actually spending less per year. I'm skeptical of that. I would really like to see the numbers and how that shakes out. I would really like to hear from some true economists who study this and find out what they say, because I still have a lot of doubt that people who don't have much income aren't going to end up, we used a bunch of double negatives there, but I have a feeling that the people who are already struggling to get by, and stuff costs more now. Go to the grocery store, go anywhere. We've been talking about it for over a year leading up to the election in 2024, how expensive everything is. Even if there is no income tax and people on the lower levels don't really pay income tax in a lot of cases, that just means stuff's going to get more expensive for them already.
Yeah, well, Missouri's income tax is flat, so everybody pays the same percentage, and it's a very small amount of your income that's tax exempt. I mean, also almost everybody is paying state income tax. There is no state sales tax on groceries. So when you look at the average family expenditure and what they're, if you had sales tax on food, for example, that would be very regressive here. But all the other things you buy, and I do know they're going to have numbers because they were already working on them, and it's going to show that if you eliminate an income tax from somebody at any point on the economic scale, and replace that with sales tax, they're going to spend less money in taxes year over year.
Half the stuff you buy at a Schnucks, though, isn't groceries or isn't food. If you're buying detergent, you're buying that kind of stuff, those taxes will rise up. But one question that he alluded to, is there a timeline, or is this a gradual thing that certain goals have to be met before they'll take another percentage of the state income tax?
That I don't know, but I do know that the income tax is a phase-out, not a whoomp.
Yeah,
because you were saying the whoomp was Kansas.
The whoomp was Kansas.
Yes, and you don't want the whoomp.
You don't want the whoomp, and you want to make sure that when Kansas did the whoomp, they did the cut. So you got a whoomp and a cut, and that was tough.
You know what they said when it came?
Didn't work.
They said, whoomp, there it is.
Yes.
We need to take a break.
All right.
Like now.
Okay.
We're live at the Billiken Grill. Hancock and Kelly with us for the first hour of the show today. We are going to talk to Robbie Avila, the star center for the Billikens basketball team, playing tonight at Dayton, or against Dayton at Chaffetz. This is a huge game, the Billiken Blizzard. That's why we're on site, on campus right now. Also, Chris May, athletic director, will be on the show as well. And Kevin Kalish, the soccer coach.
Yes.
Remember the men's team went to the Final Four?
Very good.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be here as well. Chris and Amy,
What a
live
show.
from the Billiken Grill on KMOX.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome to Radio Rental. The scariest stories you've ever heard in your life. All told by real people. And off we go.
This wasn't a human being that I saw. There's something here in this house, something not of this world.
There was a woman moving through the hall. I stepped back and I was completely alone.
Radio Rental is available now. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's about time pros had one partner for the whole job. Why juggle 10 different suppliers when one can do it all? At the Home Depot, you'll save with pricing built for pros. You'll stay on track with job site deliveries, scheduled, next day, or same day. And you'll get every size, every finish, every job lot quantity you need. One partner for the entire job. That's how pros get more done. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
We are live at the Billiken Grill at St. Louis University. Chris Ranchi, Amy Markscores, Hancock, and Kelly here. They just chatted with Governor Mike Kehoe for about a half an hour, and we were talking about this idea being proposed by the governor to eliminate the state income tax and looked at various angles. But I did, John, have another question. If we...
You got a lot of questions.
I know. I apologize.
Well, that's why you're here. You can answer our questions.
Listen, taxes are not my thing.
Yeah.
The only question I know how to answer is that I don't own any livestock. That's how far I can get.
There you go.
And then I'm stuck. But, with the proposal that the Kansas City Chiefs move across state lines to Kansas, how would that affect some of the tourism dollars, the tax money that the state of Missouri would get that might offset eliminating the income tax?
Certainly is an impact, which is why, I think those of us who live in Missouri wanted that facility in Missouri. But, at the end of the day, it's, 9 or 10 football games a year, unless they make the playoffs, which is increasingly less likely, I think. But, and then they've got, I'm sure, other events at Arrowhead that take place. So, it'll have an impact.
I got to tell you, I said this when we were visiting with the governor, that it doesn't matter where you're at, we're all rooting for him. And I in particular pointed out that he was from St. Louis. In my lifetime, we've not had a governor who hasn't treated St. Louis as a necessary evil, almost as, the legislature surely treats St. Louis as a negative thing, and to have a governor who's out there actually caring about St. Louis, regardless of his politics, which I don't agree with most of it, the fact that he does care about St. Louis means a lot to me, because I think it's something that's been neglected from the state. You heard him. He said 45% of the revenue comes from St. Louis. Go to this legislature and listen to him talk about St. Louis. It's not a positive conversation.
Let me just say, those gloves are very distracting.
Michael is wearing gloves as if he is.
It's cold in here.
But no, the governor cares deeply about St. Louis. He's from here. His family lives here. His son just bought a house here. So, St. Louis is, and he recognizes the importance of St. Louis to the state. And I wouldn't agree with you that all governors have been, antagonistic towards St. Louis, but certainly, St. Louis in the state is kind of the whipping boy when you get to rural Missouri and even Kansas City. One of the interesting political dynamics of Missouri is that we've got these two significant urban areas, and they've never really cooperated on
that.
policy. You know, other states that have a couple of big cities, those cities typically get together and, you know, have more influence in the legislature. Well, here, St. Louis and Kansas City, for whatever reason, have never really formed an alliance when it comes to Jefferson City. I mean, back when I was in the legislature, it was, you know, I had hair and everything.
And a mustache. I saw your mustache.
Yeah. But it was remarkable to me how those two delegations, the St. Louis and Kansas City they just didn't work together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you look at them on a map, I've heard it said that Missouri's two biggest cities both look like they're desperately trying to get out.
Yeah, well, and you know, culturally, St. Louis is the westernmost eastern city in the country. Kansas City is the easternmost western city in the country. And so they're culturally different in that regard as well.
And we've never cooperated on stuff. I mean, when we were trying to get the Dome to get the Rams here, Kansas City was not a helper. They were a hindrance. I would argue that I don't know that we were too helpful in trying to find solutions to save the Chiefs and the Royals over in Kansas City from a St. Louis perspective. And John's point's exactly right. And as a result, we've seen the rural voices have a huge voice in the state. And more importantly, from a legislative standpoint, John, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are three subjects you can bring up in Jefferson City that are controversial: abortion, you know, education, and St. Louis. Yeah. Everybody on there has a strong opinion, and to have a governor who actually sees the forest through the trees, I think, is helpful.
Has it always been that way here with the animosity, I guess you'd call it that, from the rural parts of the state and the city of St. Louis, where there's always been this, because they don't like the Democratic leadership or whatever it is. Has that always existed?
Yeah, I don't think
it worse than it used to be? Because
no.
I think if you look at Illinois, it's very much like that. The parts of Illinois right across the river feel the exact same way about Chicago.
Yeah.
Even though Chicago's a huge economic driver for the state.
I don't think it's unique to Missouri or to Illinois. I think it's nationally. There's a rural-urban divide that's been there.
It's probably like that in New York, too, I would imagine.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
You go to upstate New York, it doesn't look a thing like New York City. And so, it has always been thus. Now, the behavior has shifted in terms of politics. So it used to be that the urban areas were Republican and the rural areas were Democrat, and now it's just the exact opposite. But there's always been an urban-rural split in the U.S.
So if Kansas City and St. Louis decided to shake hands and be buddies, what would happen?
I don't know. They've tried a couple of efforts to find some ways to cooperate. I just think our differences and the things that we're dealing with are so different that I don't know why it's never worked. The business community is what's going to have to drive it, and in particular over in Kansas City. I mean, you literally it's not a river; it's a street. And so there's more intertwining with what goes on in Kansas over there.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And you look at the St. Louis metropolitan area, it does extend over on the east, but it's just different. There's a whole lot of economic activity in Kansas, just outside of the Kansas City boundary. And people live and commute, and I know that happens here, but over there it's almost a seamless
Right,
flow.
because you said there's no river. I mean,
right.
I will visit family, friends there, and they'll live in Kansas, go to school. Well, they live in Kansas City, Missouri. Go to school in Kansas City, Missouri, live in Kansas City, Kansas, or live in Overland Park, Kansas. And if you're just driving around and going to different stores, you can cross the state line 4 times and not even realize it. I mean, I've done that. I've done that on a run. I'm like, oh, Kansas now? It's so intertwined.
Is that entire area, and I don't know a ton about Kansas City other than statistically their crime numbers are pretty comparable to ours, but it's not like we don't talk about KC the way we talk about St. Louis in terms of crime. But outside of that, in terms of cooperation with municipalities or cities within the area, cities, towns,
completely
is there a little bit more?
Yeah, so
collaboration?
I don't know. But what Kansas City doesn't have is a whole bunch of municipalities. Right. The way St. Louis Jackson County doesn't have the number of municipalities that St. Louis County does. So it's different in that regard. They work together. themselves pretty well over there. The getting along and the mayor. They've had a Republican mayor as recently as the 1980s in Kansas City.
And the actual physical property or real estate that is the city of Kansas City is huge. It's much bigger than the city of St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the things holding us back, isn't it? Our charter with our imaginary borders.
Yes. Well,
that's
that
what I
we
was
drew
gonna say.
back in, was it the 1800s or late
1870s?
I mean, here's what's interesting about St. Louis, and I bet you could say this about a lot of other cities, is decisions that were made 150 years ago affect us still in really negative ways and hard to overcome. That we had some of the worst people with the worst foresight operating in this area 150 years ago.
Which is surprising because we're always so open to change.
But it goes back to that urban-rural divide, because remember, most of the consequences of what we're living by, it comes as a result of the Civil War, etc.
Yeah.
And the police department at one time was bigger than the entire state of Missouri, and that was the reason that they implemented a place where the governor, a rural person, could be in charge of what was happening inside the city of St. Louis. And now we have this separation of the county. It is the biggest burden and barrier to St. Louis moving forward, this design of government that we have that makes no sense.
Hancock and Kelly with us from the Billiken Grill at SLU. We are at the Bush Student Center. Everybody put their headsets down? Chris and Amy with Hancock and Kelly until 9. Yeah, make that 10 on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Miklasz.
The most important thing you can have in football is a great quarterback. And yeah, the head coach benefits. But Bill Belichick also drafted Tom Brady, and he chose Tom Brady as his starter over Drew Bledsoe when Drew Bledsoe was still pretty good. And it all comes from a place where people just can't stand Bill Belichick.
Bernie Miklasz. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 13 degrees. Pretty cold out there. Frigid today, a high of 19. Could be some flurries this evening. Otherwise, just extreme cold, a low of 4.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. If it's cold outside, the team at Morelli Tuck Pointing is still busy. During colder months, Morelli can inspect any exposed brick inside your house. If your basement has a stone or black wall, Morelli can remove the worn-out mortar from that wall and replace it with new mortar. This tuck pointing work will reinforce your foundation, prevent water from entering your home, and thwart pests. This is a great time to get the inside of your garage inspected, and the same goes for your brick or stone fireplace. I've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to repair the chimneys, walkways, and walls of 2 homes here in St. Louis. The Morelli bids are fair, their crews are super polite, and they clean their job sites. Don't take my word for it. Check out the reviews on Google. Winner of the BBB Torch Award and the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award, 35 years in business, an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hey, Jeff, looks like your business is really booming, even in a tough time for businesses like ours.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, thanks to LendSeek, our business was able to take care of some outstanding bills and taxes and to purchase inventory and expand our product lines.
Wow. You know, my business needs working capital, but only from a reputable company that I can trust and count on. How does LendSeek work?
Fast and easy. Just apply at lendseek.com. Their AI lending platform gave my business access to over 100 funding programs with one simple application. And it costs nothing to apply.
At lendseek.com, you can receive business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. Whatever your funding needs are, seek no more. Our AI lending marketplace has you covered. If you've been in business at least 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you could get the funding your business needs in as little as 24 hours. There's no obligation, so apply today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Soulard is going to the dogs. Make sure to bring your four-legged friend to the streets of Soulard for the 33rd annual Purina Pet Parade, the world's largest costume pet parade. It all starts at 12th and Allen, Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. And KMOX's own Dave Glover will be leading the pack as the parade's Grand Marshal. Sign up today to march in the parade with your dog. The event supports Open Door Animal Sanctuary. For more details, PurinaPetParade.com. Don't miss this annual St. Louis Mardi Gras tradition, sponsored by Purina. It's men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take to the court to take on Dayton. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
Glad you're with us from the Billiken Grill at the Bush Student Center at St. Louis University. We're here for the Billiken Blizzard tonight. They've got Dayton at Chaffetz Arena. Huge game. The Billikens can improve to 21-1. They're just having a fantastic. It's their best ever start.
Remarkable.
Would love to see it keep going tonight. We'll have Chris May, who is the athletic director for St. Louis University. He's with us at 10. Robbie Avila, who is the center. Your Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Love him.
He's going to be with us at 10:30. And then we have the SLU men's soccer coach. At 11 o'clock, Kevin Kalish, he took his team to the Final Four just weeks ago. So we're going to talk about
Avila hit the winning shot.
He did.
The other
He hit
night.
the game-winning three with 3 seconds to go against George Washington, and now they've got Dayton tonight.
George Washington. Did you know he still played basketball?
Are we still doing this?
We were buddies back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Did he actually start that school, or did they just name it after him?
They named it after him.
All right.
I don't know how
Ben
old
Franklin started a school.
What do you think?
Thomas
Like,
Jefferson started
I don't know how
schools?
old the university is. I think it's a perfectly
Michael, don't
fine
you think
question.
it's misleading when you say the Billikens played George Washington?
Yes.
Sounds like they took on the guy with the wooden teeth.
Right. Exactly. But what, I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
but what
let's
is a Billiken?
That's the thing.
John?
Yeah?
What do you think of what's going on here? John,
Yes.
Let's get to something that's less ridiculous. Oh, no, wait.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
So the president has his favorite social media platform called Truth Social.
Yeah.
And we know that we're going back to 2016. He's still relitigating stuff that happened then and in 2020. And he posted on Truth Social yesterday that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released hundreds of bombshell Russiagate documents proving Barack Obama personally ordered CIA agents to manufacture false intelligence on President Trump and was actively working with the enemy to undermine and erode Americans' confidence in our democracy, so on and so forth. And at the end, it says, "Arrest Obama now." So that was the president yesterday saying that the former president, Barack Obama, should be in jail. What do you think?
It's ridiculous. What we're experiencing now from the President of the United States is unprecedented. And, that is just on its face a ridiculous thing to publish. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
And look, all you need to do is look at the class of Barack Obama, who has said nothing about Donald Trump, tries to stay out of the way like former presidents have. And we just continue to see the classlessness of the current president.
What about President Trump's idea that he said he was going to drive up housing prices, not down?
So that people who have homes don't see the valuation of their houses plummet?
I don't know. That's the first I've heard of it.
Don Lemon was arrested at the
Oh, yeah,
Grammys.
I did hear that.
There's just so
Yeah, they arrested Don Lemon.
Yeah.
Look, I don't really care for Don Lemon. He's whatever. But what do you make of this arrest?
It makes no sense. I mean, I guess he's going to make the argument he's a journalist, and if that is the case and he was being a journalist, then it's a violation of the First Amendment.
Well, I think it was it for the church protest,
right,
which you can't do. You cannot lead a protest into
he wasn't,
a church.
I don't think he was leading it.
But
he was
says,
covering it.
yeah, he was there
Okay.
covering it. Now, they've arrested him. Did they arrest everybody who showed up there? All the other journalists that were there watching what happened at that illegal protest?
No idea.
As an American citizen, I don't like it. As just me being annoyed, Don Lemon is such a doofus. Remember when he said Nikki Haley was past her prime? That's like, well, she's not going to win.
I forgot. Did he say that
Yes.
accidentally on
no,
air,
he
or
said
did
it
he
on
say
air? And
it?
it doesn't matter if it's accidental. I think
no, I'm not making. I'm
yeah,
not
such a
defending
double
him.
standard with women running. They're like, well, she's not likable. Well, her voice is too high. Well, she cackles. Well, she wears a pantsuit. Well, she looks past her prime. That bothers me.
But being a doofus doesn't mean you're a criminal.
That's true.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
If anybody knows that, it's me.
Yeah, because I've never been arrested.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Never had handcuffs on you, ever?
No. Well, I've never been arrested.
Wait, how old were you when you had the
Everybody's had
handcuffs on?
handcuffs on themselves at one time or another.
Well,
You
not
went to
counting
college.
that kind. Just
No,
talking with police.
I'm talking about police. Like you guys, did you ever get handcuffs when you were in college?
No.
One time
Ranj, you care to share?
No.
No, Ranj, did you ever
No.
get handcuffed?
No.
I knew
Why
you
would
would
I be-
get away with it.
I've ridden in the back of a squad car.
I have too.
Hey, now.
Multiple times.
Wait, voluntarily?
Yeah, I had a buddy who was a Chicago cop who would pick us up at one bar and drive us to the next one, and he would give us rides in the back of the
well,
squad car.
that's not being arrested.
And the back of the car, I don't know if it. Most people have not been in the back of a police cruiser.
Yeah.
You have.
Ditto.
You have.
No.
Most people have not. It's just hard plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
they
well, you
can hose
can't
it.
open the doors. There's
Yeah, you can't.
no
Well,
handles.
that's the whole
nothing.
point. Yeah, they don't want you to be able to get out and walk away.
So when they were dropping you off someplace, did he have to get out like he was a chauffeur?
He'd come in. He would turn the lights on and drive
That's
fast down the road.
awesome.
Oh,
and take
that's
it-
crazy.
He could
Yeah, take us
totally
to-
lose his job for that.
Totally. But
Okay.
nobody knows who it is at this point.
And it's
but,
past the statute.
So
of
I
limitations.
assume the back is plastic in case there's like a poo-poo or something they have to
Oh,
hose
my.
out.
Because you
They
should-
hose it down,
there's probably
right?
a lot of that kind of stuff going on
Yeah.
in the back of a car. Now we're broadcasting live at the Billiken.
We are.
Made possible by Jim over here. Jim, you were silent. Were you ever arrested or handcuffed?
Never.
He says
no.
never. We'll look into it.
No, I was never.
Pajeski scampered
He
away
did.
the second
You
this
know
topic
what? That's
came
a
up.
great,
He
our
ran away.
illustrious producer,
Well,
Matt Pajeski.
I have seen Matt Pajeski when he's had a couple, and I'm going to tell you right now, he is borderline a problem.
Really?
He is. Yeah, he is very close to being an
You
issue.
know, Michael, I got a text at 3 a.m. one time
Well,
from
you up?
Chris Ranji
Yeah.
and Matt Pajeski. Oh, no, it was not a you up. It was a we're up, and they were hanging on each other
having a great
and
time.
smiling
Nice.
and
Well,
having a great time.
Pajeski is what they
3
call
in the morning.
is what they call a liability.
Is he?
He's a potential liability. I would like to praise the president on one thing, even though I have no idea who
This
this
ought to be
person
good.
is. Well,
Okay.
no, I have no idea who this person is, but he has nominated a person to be the next Fed Reserve Chair when Jerome Powell's term is over in May.
Yeah.
And he has nominated, and I believe it's a nod to people from Eureka, he's nominated a guy named Kevin Warsh.
No. Spell it. Spell it.
It's exactly how some people from the St. Louis area say they washed their cars.
Oh, wow.
Warsh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kevin Warsh. Do we
Kevin
know who
Warsh.
this is? Do we know anything about him?
Well, he was the governor from like 06 to 11 on the Fed. So I mean, there is some experience there, but that's literally all I know about him, which is
Okay.
more than any of you know about him. So,
Well, that's rude.
And so he needs to get confirmed. Does Powell
Yes.
serve until a new confirmation?
Yes.
So there's a good chance that if a couple of Republicans didn't want to confirm this guy, that Powell may stay there for a longer
Could,
period of time. And obviously, many people think the Democrats are going to take control after November, maybe even the Senate.
Maybe the Senate.
And they would be able to stop him from going.
Let me ask you guys both about that. At this point, and we're sitting here January 30th, so we're several months away from an election happening. We know what it looks like right now, and people are not happy with the direction of the country. A good majority of the people are not. Is that pretty much foregone to you that they are going to lose the House?
The House is, yes.
That's gone,
yes,
for sure.
I think.
What would have to happen in order for them to not lose it?
An economic turnaround and probably some kind of external event that would unite the country.
There you go, like a September 11th unification of the country type thing.
I don't know. I don't know if we've had this conversation here. I have had it before. I don't know that if we had another September 11th, I don't think we're united on it.
Well,
I think it is. I just don't. I don't think we have the same immediate reaction we had.
It would be finger pointing immediately.
That's exactly.
Yeah, that's probably
exactly.
right. That's probably right. But you know that the only two times in the last half century at least, and probably more, that the incumbent party of the White House gained seats in Congress was 2002 after 9/11 and 1998 Clinton after impeachment, which proved to be a very politically unpopular thing that the Republicans did at that time. Other than that, the party in power loses seats, and it's particularly exacerbated when the presidential party also has both houses of Congress. So you're looking at just a typical trajectory of a dozen to 15 seats. And that's with no wave and no, the ignoring where the right track, wrong track number is, where the number of people who think the country's on the wrong track is north of 60. Those are all really bad warning signs. I saw a number the other day that the generic ballot, where you ask people, generally speaking, would you prefer to vote for a Republican or a Democrat member of Congress? No names, nothing. The Democrats were +6 on the generic ballot. That usually is around 2 or 3. So 6 is a big number on the generic ballot. So all of those things portend a pretty big anti-GOP turnout.
Yeah. No, it does. What's interesting in a generic ballot versus a generic Democrat or a generic Republican specifically, this might be different. But when you do have a generic Democrat or a generic Republican, the generic will always win. I feel like because they have no history. They have no decisions. You don't dislike them. To you, a generic Republican might look a little bit different than the generic Republican looks like in my mind, which would look different in Michael's mind or Chris's mind. And so you're kind of voting for your ideal. So that's why sometimes I feel like the generic question, you're going to have the individual biases of that person.
You do, but it's been a pretty good predictor of
more so
national
with that,
outcomes. Yeah.
When I know, obviously, with President Trump losing the House and the Senate, when was the last time that happened aside from Trump losing the House and the Senate as president?
Obama lost the House and the Senate.
Yeah.
He also at one time had a veto-proof, or not a veto-proof, a 60 filibuster-proof Senate, and then 2 years later that was gone.
Right.
That was 2010, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what does that tell us about just the American voters? Do you know what I mean? Like when you're looking at our ideals and what we want and what we don't want, sometimes I feel like the voter isn't necessarily as in the weeds as all the pundits are. I don't know.
Well, so there's presidential cycles and there's midterm cycles. And generally those are two completely different electorates. So midterm cycles, you just don't get the participation that you do in presidential elections. And there's a whole group of Donald Trump voters out there who historically now, and we've got several case studies behind us, they don't show up in midterm. They don't show up when Donald Trump's not on the ballot, and which is great for him when he is run for office, but not so good for the GOP in the midterms.
Yeah, and even if you're going to lose, when it's a presidential election, people are still fired up to come out. Democrats will be fired up to come out in this November election, and a lot of Republicans may be busy, or you just don't see the same fever. Although a presidential cycle, it seems to buck that trend just because of how it's all-consuming.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly with us from the Billiken Grill. It's the Chris and Amy Show. Got a few more minutes to go here, and it's not that long before we get to the Super Bowl. In fact, we are just over a week away from that, and it's a last call for football, one final Sunday, one last kickoff, and one final chance to place your bets before the NFL season comes to an end. FanDuel wants to make sure you're in on the action for Super Bowl 60. If you're a new customer, you can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So it doesn't matter if you're backing the favorite Seahawks or the underdog Patriots or building one last same-game parlay. This is your time to make it count, because after the Super Bowl, season's over, football officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Big game, big screen, big energy at Ballpark Village, Sunday, February 8th. Enjoy the big game like you're in the end zone, featuring in-arena touchdown celebrations, fan cams, contest VIP packages, and more, hosted by RDJ and DJ Dex. Save up to $10 on tickets with code KMOX. Tickets and event details at stlballparkvillage.com/events. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
A cataract occurs when the natural lens in your eye becomes cloudy and hard. This affects your eyesight by darkening and blurring your vision. The only treatment for cataracts is to remove that cloudy natural lens and replace it with a new artificial intraocular lens. Cataract surgery is now one of the most common and successful surgeries. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan here in St. Louis. For cataracts, I recommend you call the doctor's doctors. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. 314-966-5000. Ask these doctors about the light adjustable lens, allowing you to customize your vision after cataract surgery. The doctor's doctors, where the Brennan family has received its eye care for 30 years. 314-966-5000 in St. Charles, Sullivan, and 270 in Manchester. And at youridoc.com.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. A few more minutes with Hancock and Kelly from the Billiken Grill on the SLU campus. And we did not have to have any reservations whatsoever to come to this place.
No, well, we did, though. We had reservations because our table was ready when we got here.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm frustrated by this whole reservation thing. There's about 6 or 7 restaurants in town that have these big, long lines that you have to go in once a month where you can, apply to get a reservation to go to this restaurant. No, I'm done. I am done. I spent yesterday trying to get reservations to some place, and then I thought, this is stupid. Is anybody serving food here in the middle of America that's so great that I'm going to constantly, once a month, get on the computer to see if I can get in to see them? Does anybody else think this is nuts?
It's not good because, of course, by a month from now, your whole taste may have changed.
Exactly.
You may not desire to eat the whatever fluffy stuff they've got over there.
Well, you have to psych yourself up for it. Like, if you know that you're going to go to one of those Brazilian steakhouse places, you have to prepare for it.
That's where they shave the meat for you right there at the table.
They shave the meat for you at the table, yes.
But when
I love that.
When you go to the big cities in New York and Chicago, etc., even if you don't have a reservation, you can go there and they'll say, oh, yeah, we can get you in like 2 hours and stuff. No, there's a bunch of these restaurants around this town that just, nope, can't get in. You got to go and apply online and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not waiting in line for anything.
I think I'm going to go
anymore.
get some shaved meat. I'm in the mood right now.
It's funny there's
where do you get shaved meat?
Probably at the Billiken Grill when it opens.
Do they shave your meat over here at the grill?
Do we have shaved meat at this grill?
They're serving flyers today.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it's funny you bring this up because I'm going to go to this place is it next month or in March?
Yeah.
It's called, it was named the best steakhouse in North America.
Wow.
It's in Chicago. It's called Asador Bastion.
Really?
And got in. So next month I'm going to go to this place, and I'll let you know if it deserves to be called.
What's the old steakhouse downtown in Chicago? Gene and Georgetti's.
Gene and Georgetti's.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
I used to live a block away from
my
it.
son took me there last year. It was delightful.
Good place.
And he paid.
You didn't have the patience to wait online. Somebody's
Not
done
like
it
that.
for you.
That's correct.
Because,
Yeah, that's correct.
after about 30 minutes of this nonsense yesterday, I thought, none of these places are worth it. I'm not going, and I'm not using their names on the radio to embarrass them here now, but there's like 6 or 7 of them here in town that you got to do all this nonsense.
So I've never experienced that.
I don't think you should be mad at the restaurant. I think you should be mad at the people, the sheep who are getting in line for the place. That's who you should be upset with.
Yes. You know who I'm upset with? Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Ruth's?
Why?
Chris, because of the name.
Yeah.
What in the world?
It's good. Ruth's Chris
Well,
for,
you know what else is
a
confusing?
chain. It's good.
There's also a Chris's Steakhouse.
Yes.
That's spelled like
Lindbergh.
rice.
That place is really good. Yeah.
Greeks own that place.
But why?
Happening joint.
But
The
there's a
entire
Chris's
country?
Steakhouse and a
No, Greeks.
Oh,
not
Greek
Greece.
people. Yeah,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greek people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but don't
I
you
love
think?
it there. It's
don't
really
you think
good.
it's a little
Yeah.
confusing that some of the best steakhouses are Chris's and Ruth's Chris's?
Well, that's just here.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know that one of those is the best. I mean, Chris's is a great steakhouse.
Well, it's a
It is.
steakhouse.
Yeah.
Ruth's Chris.
Good old school. I love the feel of the place.
Yeah,
when you
me
go
too.
in.
Yeah.
We
Big
were
fan.
going when the president renamed the Kennedy Center. We were going to rename something here after us, and so we were going to have Ruth's, Chris's, and Amy's Steakhouse.
I don't think somehow it didn't go over well.
Yeah.
It didn't get accepted.
No.
You don't have to get a month out reservation for that place.
It's
I'll tell
not
you
going well at the Kennedy Center either.
No.
No, did you see Philip Glass
I was just
cancel?
thinking about
Everybody's canceling.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the amount of stuff that's going to have to be redone.
It's not,
like-
though, because he basically used magnetic stickers. I could take down the signs. Everything looks temporary because it is temporary. They didn't redo anything. They just slapped the Trump name on things. With
So just have to scrape it off.
I think they can peel. I think it's peel and stick.
He wanted pure gold.
Gold peel and stick. You can get on Etsy, probably.
Honestly, somebody can run for president saying that they're going to do that stuff on the first day, and it will help them.
It might.
Like I would
It
argue,
might.
I'm tearing down that ballroom. If I get elected, I don't care what it costs. That ballroom's coming down.
And I'm leaving it in a pile. I'm leaving it in a pile, and you can come back and clean it up. Take your pile with you.
Right, and people will vote for you for that because this is just stupid.
That's your only platform.
I'm running, and I'm going to tear down that ballroom.
How funny would that be? Like, we're going to tear it down. You come back and get your rubble and take it with you.
Yeah.
When you're out of office, you come get your rubble. Go home.
And then have like a garage sale for all that chintzy, weird-looking gold nonsense that he slapped up on all the walls to make it look like we're some.
I hope he leaves the gold toilet. Did he have one? He didn't have one installed.
I'm not
at the
sure.
White
All
House,
I know is that Stephen Hayes, who was covered, he covered the war in Iraq, and he covered the fall of Saddam Hussein. And he said now that he covers the White House, the last time he's seen anything look like what Trump's decorating style was Saddam Hussein's palace.
There you go.
Come on,
And
that's
it
not
looks
nice.
no, it's not a joke.
That's just not fair.
It's not a joke. It's true. Trump has Saddam Hussein's decorating sense.
Everything's going great. Hancock and Kelly, we love you.
Bye now.
See you guys.
Bye. Go
Happy
do
weekend.
whatever it is you're about to do.
I know it.
Take care of yourselves. When we
Yes.
come back, Athletic Director Chris May of St. Louis University will join us next on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. Have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertisement.
This is John Pertzborn with Ben and Gentry for HeatUpSt.Louis.org.
We're the Golden Boys!
For the 26th Rise and Shine benefit.
It's Friday, February 13th.
Your lucky day to volunteer.
Or buy a sausage or egg biscuit for $1 at participating area Hardee's. It's HeatUpSt.Louis.org to also pre-order. That's HeatUp, STLOUIS.org.
Put the biscuits down, Ben.
Oi!
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Dreaming of summer with this crazy weather? Me too. And nothing says summer like the Muni, which means it's officially time to start planning your nights under the stars. Good news, Muni season tickets are on sale now. The 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at only $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Going on 10:01, and we've got sunshine in downtown St. Louis. It's 12 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. And St. Charles drivers, be aware that a police pursuit ended in a wrong-way crash on I-70 near Cave Springs. That is affecting traffic in both directions, but especially westbound I-70 at Cave Springs. It's backed up to reportedly Fairgrounds Road, and traffic reportedly stopped. Could be an issue for at least another 30 minutes or so. Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered the arrest of former CNN anchor Don Lemon and 3 others for going inside a St. Paul, Minnesota church that protesters were targeting because the pastor is helping ICE. Lemon, now working on his own video journalism projects, interviewed protesters and the pastor. The charges against him are based on a law that was to prevent people from blocking abortion clinic entrances. CBS News' Ian Lee has been covering the anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis.
The Committee to Protect Journalists, they came out with a statement. They said the arrest of journalist Don Lemon in connection with his reporting on a protest in Minnesota should alarm all Americans. Instead of prioritizing accountability and the killing of 2 American citizens, the real Donald Trump administration is devoting its resources to arresting journalists.
A judge in Minneapolis had already refused to have Lemon and others arrested, so according to Bondi, she ordered it. Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe remains bullish on the state legislature passing a bill to ask voters in November if they'd approve replacing the state income tax with a revamped sales tax.
Take a teacher at a $40,000 a year salary. The initial reports we've looked at, and we'll get this better for people as we move forward, would actually pay a hair more in sales tax, but would save almost double in what she pays or he pays in state income tax.
Kehoe telling KMOX's Hancock and Kelly it would be a gradual phase out of the income tax and a gradual escalation of sales taxes if passed by voters. A woman who claimed to be raising money to help pets in St. Louis is accused of instead spending the money on Netflix and luxury items. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway says Constance Cruz, the president of the nonprofit Saving St. Louis Pets, collected $100,000 in donations even after it dissolved in 2023. Cruz is facing felony charges of deceptive business practices. Federal prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangione and the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. U.S. District Judge Margaret Garnett dismissing a federal murder charge, finding it technically flawed. She left in place a stalking charge that carries a maximum punishment of life in prison. From the business desk, the 19th annual Ice Carnival in the Del Mar Loop will take place tomorrow. It was originally scheduled for last Saturday, but was moved due to the snowstorm and frigid temperatures. There will be more than 40 ice sculptures, along with live ice carving demonstrations, family carnival games and activities, fire dancers, live music, and a drone show at 7 tomorrow night.
Sunshine mixing with clouds, brisk and bitterly cold this afternoon, high 19. Mostly cloudy early tonight with a passing flurry. Some clearing and bitterly cold late tonight, low 3. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, a cold wind and a high of 22. Sunday, some sun followed by increasing clouds and cold with a high of 30. There could be a bit of snow or flurries late Sunday or Sunday night, mainly north and east of the city. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's sunny and 12 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, Jerry Kelly.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is a huge matchup for the St. Louis men's Billikens basketball team. They are hosting Dayton. That's a good rivalry, and it has been for quite some time now. The Billiken Blizzard is tonight, and because of that, we are broadcasting live from the Billiken Grill at the Bush Student Center on the SLU campus. Joining us now on the Chris and Amy Show is Athletic Director Chris May. Good to see you, and congratulations, because this has been a really fun basketball season, and that's not all. There's been more that's going on. In fact, we're talking to Kevin Kalish, the men's soccer coach, later on today, but this run the Billikens are on right now, really great.
Well, thank you, and first of all, thank you all for being here today. It's a huge day for us. It's always great when you've got a sellout tonight. Tickets are as hard as Tickets are as hard to come by as ever in Chaffetz Arena's history. The city is they're rallying around this basketball team, and it's a great way for us to really celebrate St. Louis University.
Was looking at the secondary market yesterday. The cheapest ticket was $180.
Yep.
And that's I'm
that's
sure
what I was hearing from people who've looked.
Yeah, people on StubHub, SeatGeek, all those secondary marketplaces. I can't imagine that happens very often here. And that was the cheapest ticket we're talking.
Hopefully that becomes the norm. But I saw one at $740 in the lower levels.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I had mine early. But it just shows the community really rallying and what Josh Schertz and the team have been able to do, winning 14 in a row. And Dayton always brings a little extra. I mean, they have a great program, highly talented, very skilled, great coach. And so it is going to be electric, and it's going to be everything it takes, and we're going to need all the Billikens cheering loud to help the Billikens pull one off tonight.
Amy and I were talking about this yesterday. I believe one of the reasons this rivalry is already so good is so many people from St. Louis went to Dayton too. A lot of the Catholic universities.
What were they saying? Was it Chaminade's kind of a pipeline?
Chaminade's a big one. Some of the Saints.
Yeah.
Some of the Marianists. The Marianists.
There are a lot of St. Louis kids who went there.
No question, and it's a wonderful university, but we won't give them anything tonight. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
The Billikens in this town are really excited about it. It's one of those really special times, and and that's what sports can do for a university, right? When you do it well, you can really highlight the great things that are happening on campus, from the Chaffetz School of Business, where we have a huge group of our student athletes who are business school students, to what's going on in research, our medical school. And so this is what high-level athletics could really do for an institution, and the buzz in town. I've been on the phone from people all over the country already this morning, some looking for tickets, some looking for parking, a little bit of everything.
It's a little late now, buddy.
You know, I'm trying to help, but there's only so much. But these are great opportunities. And what's fun is, I know you're going to talk to Robbie here. This is a great, really special group of young people, and how Josh has been able to find a way to get them to really enjoy and embrace each other's success. That's what's been amazing, because a different kid has really had success on and off during the season, and those kids truly celebrate the other person's success, and that's when something's special. And you're going to talk to Kevin Kalish. It's really what he had in the College Cup run with our soccer team this fall, and so it becomes infectious when everybody starts pulling for each other, and we're gonna have a really special night tonight.
You know, it's funny because, just going back to what you said about your athletics program, it's the best advertisement for our university in a lot of respects, and we see it with college football. You definitely see it with college basketball. It's a real phenomenon. Some of my friends and their kids, they're at Parkway, high school or Rockwood School District, and I think was a couple of years ago, was it Furman State? Is that what I'm thinking of? Like kind of a. Is it Furman? Is that the name of it?
I'm not sure.
But it was like a smaller university, or a university that maybe doesn't get all the attention, but they won some games in the tournament, in March Madness. And suddenly the kids, they wanted T-shirts because it brought so much attention from a school that maybe they otherwise wouldn't have thought about or considered. And so when you have a team that's winning, like St. Louis University is, and, if there's like the tournament or there's a run or a win, it's such a positive spotlight for all of these people across the country, especially high schoolers who are paying attention, thinking, where do I want to go? Wow, that university looks cool.
And when you see it in airports, right? You wear your Billiken gear, and all of a sudden you got Bills all over the place.
Yeah.
And it does. It brings a focus and an attention, and it opens a lot of doors for people that may not know about places. And so this is one of those great moments for us that. We've had moments before, and what we're really focused on is how do we build this moment and do it year after year after year. And we're working real hard at how we do that, and we believe Josh Schertz has done an amazing job in the short term, and we're working closely with him on how we do that and repeat it. And because if you can get to where you stack those seasons like that, now you've got a community like St. Louis that really embraces your Billikens as your team. And that's our goal, is how do we be St. Louis's basketball team.
And I'll just add, we were talking about this earlier in the week. I have so many friends, like families, who are huge Billikens basketball fans, but maybe they didn't go here necessarily. Right. It's not just because they went to St. Louis University. They're just St. Louisans that have been huge Billiken basketball fans for years. We had texters going, Charlie Spoon Hour. And
Spoonball.
Yeah. It really is a staple in St. Louis, whether you went here or not.
And it can become that for everyone here, right?
Yeah.
College basketball is such a great sport. Chaffetz Arena, there's not a better arena in the country. I really believe that. It's the perfect size. You go in there, there's not a bad seat in the house. Everybody that walks into Chaffetz Arena tonight is going to walk out with a real special experience. I've got a close friend who's flying in from Houston, and his son's flying in from California. And they're
fun.
to come to the game together. And those are those moments that people remember. And so it could really help bring a community together. And that's what we're really excited about, and with the opportunity to do that. And we've got our basketball alums coming back tonight. And
fun.
All those guys that came to practice last night, they're coming in from Minneapolis. Jordair Jet came down from Minneapolis, and Kwame Mitchell's coming from Milwaukee, and from all over the country, these guys are coming in to really celebrate the time they had here at St. Louis University together and to be part of a really special event. And so there's a lot of energy and a lot of excitement.
Is there really other than, a school like Harvard or MIT, you know what those universities are about, is there a better marketing tool that a university can have than successful sports programs, and especially the bigger ones like basketball, football, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm a little biased because I'm in the business, but I don't know of another way that you can bring that type of attention. Josh has a great line. Josh is like, we're not the most important thing that happens at St. Louis University, clearly. Educating and the world-class education, we just happen to be the most visible. And so if we can help build that brand, Chris, exactly like you're saying, we had some numbers from the soccer run, that the soccer run had our social media accounts had something like 31 million impressions over a 60-day period with just the soccer run.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine what national television and everything following a basketball team is going to do as we pull those. But so it brings a great focus and attention on our university like there aren't other places. And so again, if we can use this to really support what's going on, that can really make it special.
Can you measure it, other than social media impressions? Can you measure, after a successful basketball run, how many people have inquired about the university, maybe went to admissions, and how do you get those numbers?
Well, we've got great enrollment management people that follow that. We've got a great marketing communication group that tracks everything. And so they really help us tell the story, and we're in the middle of tracking everything right now. But absolutely, we are following very, very closely all of those pieces because again, our job is to help. We got to win games, but how do we really bring attention to this great university and help the pipeline with all those young Billikens out there who may not have thought, who may not even known what a Billiken was. And they're going to know real fast after they watch tonight.
You brought up Kevin Kalish and the men's soccer team. That was in December when they made it to the Final Four for the NCAA Division I soccer. And I was at a Christmas party. And so it was a ton of people. They had a giant TV at this Christmas party, and everybody was jammed into the room with the TV, yelling, screaming, cheering on the team. And it was so exciting to see St. Louis University there in the Final Four. You mentioned the 31 million impressions. Right. What else did you notice from that team making it that far?
Well, it clearly our community, especially the soccer community, really got ignited. And there's no question that St. Louis City has done an amazing job in our soccer world in our city. But our soccer team really carved out a piece of that. And this city really rallied around them. It was our 17th College Cup in school history. But when you see what Kevin Kalish and his team is doing, we had a celebration before the basketball game the other night. And to a person, all of those young people are talking about, we're coming back to win the championship and to win the 11th star, of which nobody in college soccer has done. And so it's a really exciting time that our soccer program really, again, showed how sport can ignite a city. And everybody likes a winner, right? Everybody likes being part of that. But I think it connects also with the unbelievable history and tradition of the sport in our city. There's no question that soccer evolved out of our city. And so how it went to the highest levels of the World Cup and the Olympics and everywhere else, the tradition of the sport of soccer is second to none in St. Louis. And so to be part of that and the role that St. Louis University, fortunately, was being able to play. And now we get to help 18 to 22-year-olds go out there and compete at the highest of levels and really take advantage of that exposure piece. It's a special time. And Kevin's got a huge part of his team coming back this fall, which we are really, really excited about.
So I asked you about prospective students in general at SLU being interested because they know the basketball team's good, they've heard of it. When do you start to notice the effects of recruiting? So you're recruiting for soccer. recruiting for basketball when seasons like this happen? How quickly do you notice a benefit of that?
It's already happening, and it's a great question for Kevin Kalish, of which I asked him 2 days ago. He goes, it's unbelievable. He goes, the run, when you get on these runs, not only, he said, in our sport, soccer, but when basketball goes on a run, because all student athletes, whether they're a runner, whether they're a volleyball player, whether they're a soccer player, softball, baseball, they want to be part of big. They want to be part of big time. And when we roll in recruits that will walk into the Chaffetz Arena tonight and they feel that is electric. And it's no different than college student that wants to come get a great engineering degree at SLU. We've got an enrolled student night or day coming in a week where all the kids who have applied to come to SLU are bringing back. And so when those kids come and feel the energy and the excitement, it's all connected, and that energy is palpable.
You know, it's interesting because I there's one school I think of all the time as we have this conversation about having one good, successful sports season, and it's Santa Clara University. I still remember Santa Clara because
Broncos.
One time in the 90s they had a good basketball team in the tournament. That's what I remember, and that was from 30 years ago because Santa Clara was good at basketball once.
They made a run.
Yeah, right. So when this happens and a university like this goes on a run and hopefully into the tournament, people will know SLU. They're paying attention. They're talking about SLU right now nationally. A lot of people are talking about what the Billikens are doing.
No question, and that's what's exciting, and that's what sport can do, and we're very, very proud of the coaches and the staff and the people we have around that do such a great job. We hire to our mission. Our mission is we educate, we compete, we build community. That's what we do, and our values drive all of our decisions. And we've got some great value-driven leaders here that are locked in with young people and helping them win at the highest level, and that's the magic. And it's going to be a magical night in Chaffetz tonight.
SLU Athletic Director Chris May, good luck tonight. Enjoy it. I know you will.
I appreciate it. Thanks you both for being here, and we'll see you in the arena. Roll Bills.
Let's go. That's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
St. Louis has a voice.
This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
The St. Louis Blues are the Stanley Cup champions.
From moment to memory.
Now there is only one Berlin.
Among those voices, Wendy Weiss.
We'll have more on a troop deployment to Bosnia.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
When it comes to lighting, Graybar goes beyond parts and products. We help contractors turn plans into smart designs, manage kitting and deliverables, and navigate local codes so you can stay on time and on budget. Smart, scalable, job site ready. That's not just lighting. That's like kicking your project into Graybar mode. Yep, Graybar does that.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
We are live at the Billiken Grill ahead of the Billiken Blizzard tonight. The SLU men's basketball team takes on Dayton at Chaffetz Arena. It is going to be a big one. It's always a lot of fun. Chris and Amy on KMOX. So we are going to be joined by Robbie Avila at 10:30. Nope, actually he's here right now.
What?
He's going to, center for the SLU men's basketball team with us now. Robbie, good to see you. How are you?
It's good to be here again. I've been good.
And so because you showed up early, I hope you understand that now we're putting you to work for longer.
That's fine. I was always taught to, show up to places early, so I guess this is on me.
See, that's great.
The whole if you're not early or late
yeah, that's
mentality.
my dad taught me that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
How much trouble would you get in if you weren't on time?
It depends with who. If it's Josh Schertz, he doesn't show all the time on himself, so we're good. But if it's anybody else, we're fine.
You're saying Coach Schertz does not
that
show up?
That guy doesn't. He's got his own watch now. He's got a phone, but still sometimes lose himself in time, and so he's lost. So as long as you're within 10 minutes of, the time that you're supposed to be there, you're good.
This was really dangerous because a lot of times when you come on the show with us, you bring Josh with you or he brings you. I'm not sure which. Mm-hmm. I feel like this was dangerous of him to let you be here without him overseeing
to defend himself?
Because he's not here to defend himself.
He's had some moments on, some certain shows, too, where he's got his jabs into me, and so, I got to always get mine back.
Oh, yeah, he was on Barstool.
Yeah.
Did he take a shot at you?
I think he was actually pretty nice then. We've had a lot of truce, going on throughout the season, but previous to the season, he had me a couple of times.
All right.
Do you have I don't know if you want to call it like a mulligan or a gimme where you're like, okay, here's the truth on this one versus something else, depending on how each interview goes. You took a shot at me or you didn't take a shot.
We kind of just flow as we go. Sometimes he'll say something. It's just whatever comes to mind. Whatever happens that day. I think one time he was posting. He always likes to attack my athleticism. But I forget he posted something. Somebody said something and he took it out. I mean, I had no comment for that one. It was actually pretty funny. But like I said, it's just kind of as we go kind of thing.
What does he say? Is it like in practice or in the middle of a game? What he's taking shots at your athleticism?
It's a lot on Twitter. We go a lot of back and forth
really?
on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is where we have most of our back and forth at. So if you just scroll on his page, you'll probably see half of it will be about basketball and real things, and the other half will be jokes about me. And so just gotta check that. I get mine back in there too. So if you were to check my Twitter, you probably could find a couple things of me making fun of him as well.
That is really fun. Have you seen, because it's one of the trends that social media trends where they have the social media team asking professional athletes, what sport would you play if you were more athletic?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the kids ask their dad who was a professional athlete, what would you play if you were athletic? And then you're like, what do you mean? So what do you mean if I was athletic? And
so what sport would you play if you were
nobody's
more athletic?
asking that question, but if I had to pick another sport, it'd probably be football. I think after that last game, I think we saw, my defensive skills waiting to, go get the ball up top. And so I think I'd play football if it wasn't basketball.
So, I'm looking at his Josh Schertz Twitter account right now. And one of his latest tweets is just a retweet of the game day. There's the SLU men's basketball game day tweet. There's a photo of you. He doesn't say anything rude about you at all.
Blessed on that one, but I think it was maybe a week or 2 weeks ago where he put one out there, and like I said, I think I commented underneath it and said no comment because of how funny it was.
Well, I can imagine the broadcast now. Robbie Avila. Now, if he were more athletic, he said he would play football.
Yeah, no, hopefully he doesn't see this one.
Does it, so I don't think it probably motivates you at all and you take it as a joke. And I'm not sure a lot of people
It's an unusual
could
relationship.
handle it the way, it is.
Yeah.
For a college basketball coach and a player, you don't really see it like this.
Yeah, no, I think we've just built such a great relationship, with the time we've had with each other. Freshman year, I might have not been making the same jokes. I wasn't used to them, but, over the time, we've, had a lot of fun, really got to know each other, got close. And so we're able to have, these times off the court where, we mess around, make fun of each other, stuff like that. But, on the court, it's nothing but business.
And for people who are getting introduced to Billiken's basketball, even though you've been here for a bit, you were at Indiana State with Coach Schertz. You both ended up coming here. You transferred here. Did you know when he took the job at SLU, did you know immediately you were going to follow him?
Yeah, we had conversations right as like the season was ending, and right as he was about to get ready to take this job, and he kind of asked like, what would you do if I took it? What would you do if I stayed? Kind of conversations like that. And so I told him that I was with him 100%, and as soon as he took the job, I came on my visit, and I committed on the spot. I've had a lot of trust in him as he's had in me, and so I think it's paid off though.
When in sports. I compare it to running, but when you have a group, when you have a team, you really can do things you could not do on your own. Now, on the basketball court, having a coach like Josh Schertz, having your teammates, can you feel that actual difference in saying, yes, he's able to bring the best out of me, our teammates, the way we bring the best out of each other?
Yeah, no doubt. I think we all just gel so well. The guys on the team, the actual players, the mentalities of everybody is to do whatever it takes to win. The selflessness of everybody, the character of the entire team allows us to play at our best. And then not only just Schertz, but the rest of the coaching staff. They do a tremendous job of preparing us for these games and getting the right game plan and putting in the work. They put countless hours in preparing for every single game. And so I think that's why we're able to play at our best. As long as we're able to execute the game plan that they set for us, we're always in a good shape. And so, just a combination of those two is, I think, why we're able to have the success that we do.
So, Robbie, I think I found one.
You found one?
I'm looking on Twitter, and he is referencing was it a baby race?
Yes.
They were racing babies on the court? Okay, and then Jeff Goodman, who covers college basketball, says, what if they put you in the race? And Josh Schertz, about you, said he has no shot even if they let him run. Some of these babies can scoot. I will save Robbie for the 90 and over race after the season. And he put an old man emoji.
He did
at the end.
I
He's calling you slow.
I think Jeff Goodman even replied with, I probably wouldn't even win that one either. So, yeah, like I said, that was the one I think I commented no comment because it was pretty funny.
Your coach is burying you.
It's terrible. But I did text Jeff Goodman after the game, George Washington, and I told him another day of saving Schertz is behind because, without that game-winning shot, Schertz stinks and we all stink. And so,
did you tell him that?
I
did you say, hey, you're welcome?
I didn't tell him
you
that
made
one.
that shot on Tuesday night.
I let him have the glory with that one. So.
Because I think you could. You could next time he takes a shot at you on Twitter.
I'll get my shot back. Don't worry.
All right, very good. Center for the men's basketball team, Robbie Avila, is with us here. He's going to hang out a little bit longer. We are live from the Billiken Grill. Billiken Blizzard tonight. Got to wear white at the ball game. It is SLU taking on Dayton. Huge game. We are looking forward to it. We've got Robbie with us on the Chris and Amy show, and he'll stick around a bit longer on KMOX.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life. Not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 17 degrees. Frigid today with times of clouds and sun. A high of just 19. Could be a flurry this evening. Otherwise, extreme cold. A low of 4.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. Soulard is going to the dogs. Make sure to bring your four-legged friend to the streets of Soulard for the 33rd annual Purina Pet Parade, the world's largest costume pet parade. It all starts at 12th and Allen, Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. And KMOX's own Dave Glover will be leading the pack as the parade's Grand Marshal. Sign up today to march in the parade with your dog. The event supports Open Door Animal Sanctuary. For more details, PurinaPetParade.com. Don't miss this annual St. Louis Mardi Gras tradition, sponsored by Purina.
Save big on everything for your next project. Now at Menards. Breathe easier with Best Air allergen air filters. They trap larger airborne contaminants to keep allergens out of your home, and they last up to 90 days. Save big on all Best Air products at Menards and refresh your home today. View our entire selection of air filtration products on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here.
Bernie Miklasz joins Rush Hour Sports tonight at 5 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
On the dribble. Wants the drive. Turns the corner. Spins. Kicks out. Robbie open look. Bang! Robbie Avila. 3 seconds. Got to get it in. The length of the floor. Stolen away by Avila. The Billikens win. The Billikens win. Oh, it's Robbie's night at Chaifetz Arena. It's Robbie's night at Chaifetz Arena. Robbie Avila hits the 3 to win the game. 79-76.
That's the sound of Bob Ramsey, who is describing what Robbie Avila told us just a few minutes ago of him saving Josh Schertz's ass the other night. That's what he said. He said, I saved Coach's ass with that three-pointer and then getting the ball late. Big win over George Washington tonight. They'll take on Dayton. Robbie Avila is with us now on KMOX. So what does it do for you to hear highlights like that or to see highlights of yourself?
It's a little bit of two things. One, it's pretty cool to obviously hear stuff like that, but two, you got to try and remain humble. And so I try to balance the two. I never know when to celebrate those or relax about it. But it's always cool to have those kind of things playing. When you're looking through social media and stuff like that. I think the coolest parts is when my family are texting me the videos and stuff like that, to show how cool it is to them. And so that's probably what I enjoy the most. Yeah,
and you like you said. Right now, you don't have class on Fridays, able to manage that. But when you do have a game day and you have class, does class keep you humble, or how does that work when you've got a big game? You guys are on a run, ranked 21 in the nation. What's it like going to class?
It's definitely a little harder now when it's 15 degrees outside. But when it's warmer outside, it's not as bad. But obviously we're students first, and so we all go to our classes, take care of our business. Schertz always talks about if you can't take care of your business off the court, you're not going to be able to do it on the court. And so we make sure that we're doing our stuff first, and then obviously basketball comes next. So
I know that's tough to balance both of those things, to have classes, to do practice. Does Coach Schertz, or in your entire playing career, are coaches mindful of that, or do they just, I don't care. I don't care what your coursework is. I need you in the building. I need you doing this, and you're just going to have to deal with it. How are they? Yeah, no, they understand that, it's a blessing to be, playing college sports because you get to, get a degree as well. And so, we got guys that, some of our coaches that help us out, especially BP, he makes sure that we stay on top of our, academics. If we need help, we can go to him and he'll point us in the direction. Jasmine, who works with us as well, also, is a really big help for us, making sure that we are staying on top of our things. And, Coach Schertz, obviously his mind only focuses on basketball. He's, one-minded thing. And so he doesn't really, take as much of the academics as much, but we do have our help that make sure that we stay on top.
What's your favorite class?
I only had to take one math class, so that was my favorite part. But I'm a communications major, and so learning a lot about. We had a class called Media and Society, and so I was learning more about like the social media aspect within communication. And so I thought that was pretty neat because obviously today's world is a lot focused on social media and the internet and all that stuff. So to kind of learn a little bit more about that was pretty cool. Like I said, I'm just blessed I don't have to take any more math.
That's probably a helpful class with athletes. You're doing post-game pressers. You've got social media. I mean, that can be a tough thing for athletes to be able to manage and navigate that world.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's really big today, especially for athletes because, like you mentioned, you have all these interviews and stuff like that. And so kind of like an extra PR training right there to learn a little bit about, how to conduct yourself, during these, media interviews. And so, like I said, I enjoyed it. The professor made it pretty fun. And so I actually had a couple of my teammates last year in that class too, which was, pretty cool.
I think it's almost now, especially now, it's a lot more difficult to not care about that kind of thing. Because I know that some athletes are like, I don't need to be good at interviews or any of that stuff. But because of social media, because you're out there so much, you kind of, as an athlete, have to be good at it, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's just, everybody, is looking at you, during those interviews, trying to, figure things out from you. And so I think, I learned at an early age, how to conduct myself. Again, credit to my parents, they kind of taught me, how to how to respond, how to be respectful during interviews and stuff like that. And so over time, I've kind of learned a little bit more myself, between coaches and other people that have kind of helped me. But I think, if, you want to build your personal brand, which is important nowadays with sports, you have to be, good at that type of stuff. And so I've been blessed to, have a lot of opportunities, with the, media. And so I think, it is important, especially going forward.
Do you want to do any media stuff after your playing career?
I don't know yet. Hopefully, like I said, I play a long career.
Yep.
Maybe I go into coaching or maybe I go into like a media analyst, stuff like that. And so we'll kind of see, from that. But hopefully just play basketball as long as I can.
Well, you've been on our show a few times now. Do you ever think, I don't need a degree to do this?
This ain't that
easy
hard.
job.
Yeah,
this is something slight.
This looks easy, right?
This is a super hard, sophisticated job.
You can tell your professor, you're like, excuse me.
Thank you, Robbie.
It's not that complicated.
No degree. I don't need it. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's right.
I've met
actually,
these people.
Just got to talk.
You're one of the only people in class who's actually being interviewed.
Yeah.
You can go back to your professor and say, I've seen it. It's not difficult.
That, yeah,
it's not that you make it out to be.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so stop this charade, whatever you're doing here in class. Talking to Robbie Avila of the men's basketball team, and you get a lot of attention, of course, but what's great about this team, especially this season, is it doesn't all run through you. There are a lot of guys on this squad that are really impressive.
Yeah, no, I think all 9 guys that play major minutes in these games, all bring a different aspect to the game. And, I don't think there's a drop-off from, like, the first 5 that start to the, the 4 that come off the bench. It's just all even, elite level playing. And so, I think it shows in what we're doing. I think we have 6 guys that are averaging, 10 points a game. The other guys are, at, like, 8 points, 6 points, 5 points. And so, like, it's a pretty balanced team. And I think it's awesome to see that because, it shows why we're having our success because we have no egos on the team. Everybody's playing for each other. And, ultimately we're just all trying to win a game.
Who's not getting the publicity you think they should?
I think Paul does, obviously his stats aren't, as big as everybody else's, but I think what he does on the court during his time is, really important to why we win. Some games I think, St. Bonaventure, while we were going on that run, he had a few major blocks, he's rebounding, he's, guarding the better players and stuff like that, and so not only just him, but I think the entire team, deserves a little bit more, recognition. I think me, Amari, KT, we've been receiving a lot more, but, the entire team's just been playing, a lot. And so, I think we've been doing really well together. And so hopefully it continues and, we can ride this wave for as long as we can.
You look at your game-winning shot the other night, but then also that victory in Richmond for like the first time for the SLU basketball team. Does that add extra weight to the momentum that you guys are building, or is it the cliche like, no, just one game at a time?
Of course, I'm going to go with the cliche of one game at a time. But it was big, to win the first time at VCU in school history. I think it's been a special season so far. But kind of going off of that, what I said at first, if the season ends today, 20 wins, 1 loss, you really didn't accomplish much. We have bigger goals than just winning 20 games or just winning at VCU. We want to, win championships. We want to make a run in March. And so, we're going to take that game, one game at a time mentality and really, stick to it because we know anything can flip in, a short amount of time. And so we want to stay prepared and, hopefully continue to win as many games as possible.
Speaking of one game at a time, I wonder how much the players, the team think about, because I know everybody's thinking about the tournament, coming up and getting a bid for the tournament and whether or not you have to win the A-10 tournament to get in. How much do you guys think about that or ever talk about it that, hey, we could be a tournament team, and of course that's what you want, and then hopefully make a run in that? Is this the kind of thing where you really aren't thinking about that just yet because you are so focused on now, or is it at least part of your daily?
Yeah, obviously it's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's right there. I think Selection Sunday is in like 6 or 7 weeks, something like that. And so we obviously know that it's coming up, and we're in a great place to be able to set ourselves to be in that large bid. But I think we don't want to look too far into the future. We're a team. Shirts always talks about live in the present. Stay where your feet are. And so whether it's a game or a practice, we try to live each day as it is, and try not to get too far into that. And so the biggest thing today we're going to do is play a game against Dayton, and so the tournament's going to come, and it's going to come when it does, but we want to make sure that we're still living it today. Any
set in stone game day routines that you have?
I listen to Raw Wave throughout the entire day. I listen to one artist every single game.
Yeah.
I got my earplugs in always, and once we're done with shoot around, I go and sit in the trainer's room, and I don't talk to nobody. I just listen to music and I sit there.
So how long is that between shoot around and the game?
It's usually about like an hour,
okay.
Hour and 15 maybe. I always feel bad because I think some people come up and say something to me, but I have my phone on, or I have my AirPods on at like do not disturb, like noise cancellation, so I never hear them. So I just want to say it's not like because I don't like you. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I just genuinely don't hear you.
So you're like a starting pitcher.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Because on their day they don't want to talk to most of them.
Yeah.
They have this weird thing. They come in whenever they feel like it in the clubhouse. They show up like an hour before first pitch, and then they sit down. Nobody talks to them. Have you put the directive out there that you don't want to be approached?
I have, yes. I've told JB, our trainer, and I think he's kind of spread the knowledge a little bit around, but I'm starting to think that people are starting to get it because I don't get it as much, but I remember some people used to come up to me like, last year especially because they weren't used to my routine, and they used to come up to me, and I think I heard them like I'd see words coming out their mouth, but I couldn't hear. So I always felt a little bad. But I promise you it's not because I don't like you.
So they're talking to you, and you see their mouths moving, and you're not even thinking, I'm not even going to bother taking my earphone.
Sometimes I'll take it out and be like, yeah, but other times I'm so focused. I'll look, glance, look at my phone, glance, and I'm like, yeah.
You need one of those hotel things that say do not disturb. You can get one of those from a hotel the next time you're on a road trip. Just the do not disturb. What about pregame meals? What are you eating on game day?
I'm actually really bad with this. I get yelled at by Schertz's wife, Miss Nat. I don't like to eat before games. I genuinely don't like.
You get sick? Like you get nervous?
This was ever since I was young. Like my mom used to yell at me all the time too when we used to play AAU. Like we used to play 3 games a day, and I would eat in the morning, eat breakfast before the first game, and then after that, like I just hate eating because I just don't like food being in my stomach as I'm playing. I always get like feelings, and so I usually I'll eat like breakfast today. Like I'll eat something, or like I'll eat something at lunch. But I won't eat again until after the game, so not until 9, 10 o'clock, because I just don't like having food in my system.
Are you
when
starving by then?
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I don't even eat after the game. I don't know. It's weird on game days. It's weird. I get yelled at a lot though.
Yeah. And when you are eating, is it like Fruit Loops? Or are you doing like peanut butter on toast?
Sometimes it's cereal. Sometimes it's sometimes I'll have like a breakfast sandwich, or if it's lunch, I'll have I like Firehouse subs a lot here, so I'll go get Firehouse subs and. That's really all that consists of my meal on game days.
How's your sleep? Are you able to sleep as much as you want?
I do. I make sure I get my sleep in. Like I said, the night before I always get it. And sometimes I'll take a nap during that hour and 15 where I don't talk to nobody. But yeah, I get good sleep, just not food.
You drink water, right?
I drink water.
Yeah.
I stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Just don't eat.
Hydrate or dihydrate. That's what they say.
I think it's just you who said
it. Might just be
Never heard that one.
Well, you feel free to use it, Robbie.
I'll pass it around. We'll start it now.
He's not going to tell.
He's not. No,
guys, I heard this one.
He's not going to tell anyone he did this show.
Who's it? Do you have? Is it you, or is there somebody else on the team that's really good at trash talk, smack talk?
Actually, our best trash talker is Jaden Schertz, one of the walk-ons. He is
really.
We need him to get into the opponent's best player's mind, and he does
Really?
it so well. Like I don't think there's a game that he doesn't get a reaction from another team, and so him and Isaac do an exceptional job of trash talking from the bench.
From the bench.
From the bench.
Really?
You wouldn't if you were the opposing team, you would never want to be in our corner because you are going to get talked by those two.
Like, can you think of an example?
No, I cannot say that. I
cannot
repeat any of the things.
Okay, has an opponent ever trash talked you where you thought, I got to respect it, that was good, or like, wow, that hurt my feelings?
No, not an opponent. The fans at St. Bonaventure were, relentless.
Really?
It was just me. They weren't saying anything about anybody else. It was just me. And, like, I heard, my friends were watching ESPN Plus. They're like, sound like they were super loud. I'm like, yeah. Like, all they were talking about was me. And so they said something to Amari. I'm like, oh yeah, they're talking about Amari. And then they flipped it. They told Amari to something about me. I was like, oh man, I still can't get nothing. So yeah, no.
Do you know what they said?
I don't want to repeat that either. I never really from the opponents, but fans are definitely ruthless.
Other than playing here, what's your favorite building to play in, or what has been?
Ever?
You go back to Indiana State days.
Usually it's when we're playing in Chicago, playing in the hometown. So obviously this year it's Loyola. At Indiana State we used to play at UIC, and so getting to play in my home area. I usually get 100, 150 people. My friends, family, high school, all those people, and so it's always awesome to be able to play in front of your family and friends like that.
All right. Well, Robbie, good luck tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'm not going to tell you that how much you're favored by, because you shouldn't know that. That's not you shouldn't know.
Oh my
that.
gosh!
I don't need.
But
don't.
It is.
Take the headphones
you better win tonight, just for me and my pride.
Yeah.
But good luck tonight. It's going to be a lot of
great.
fun. It's always fun playing against Dayton in this building. It's going to be loud. And you'll be ready. I know you'll be ready.
Yep. Yeah, I know. The atmosphere is going to be amazing. I know our fans are going to be, up on their feet and cheering. We've got a lot of alumni that are going to be back in town. And so
that's cool.
We're going to be ready to play, and, hopefully it'll be a really good game.
7 o'clock tonight. What time are you going to show up?
I'll be there at 2 o'clock, so I'll be early.
What is it? What's your call time?
Shoot around starts at 2:30, so I'll be there around
half hour
2
early is good.
Yeah,
very good.
Sometimes 2:15. Depends on what time I wake up from my nap.
Go get.
You got to have time to put your.
Well, you're not
going
to eat, so you might as well nap.
I won't eat.
All right, man. Robbie Avila, thanks for coming by. Good luck tonight, and congratulations so far on a great season. A lot more to go.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me.
That's Robbie Avila with the men's basketball team. 7 o'clock tonight. We've got the broadcast right here with Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. 6:45. We will get started with the Billikens and Flyers on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's about time pros had one partner for the whole job. Why juggle 10 different suppliers when one can do it all? At the Home Depot, you'll save with pricing built for pros. You'll stay on track with job site deliveries, schedule, next day, or same day. And you'll get every size, every finish, every job lot quantity you need. One partner for the entire job. That's how pros get more done. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Real estate investing isn't just about numbers, it can change your life. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we teach you how to invest in real estate with purpose, real-world strategy, and a focus on income you can build over time. Many of our members start to see how the right investment can create income, stability, and even improve communities. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Big game, big screen, big energy at Ballpark Village, Sunday, February 8th. Enjoy the big game like you're in the end zone, featuring in-arena touchdown celebrations, band cams, contest VIP packages, and more, hosted by RDJ and DJ Dex. Save up to $10 on tickets with code KMOX. Tickets and event details at stlballparkvillage.com/events. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me.
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker. Yes. Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
There's never been anything like this. Let's go.
UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, the doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Markscore is with you live from the Billiken Grill at St. Louis University, where, oh my goodness, the athletics director, Chris May, we're swagged up. We got all sorts of swag, like this incredible Billikens hat.
Yeah.
You complimented the black jerseys, the black
and then they just
jerseys,
showed up.
and then they showed up. We got Billiken socks, which we talked about yesterday. So people know there's the Billikens bookstore with all the swag, coffee cups, mugs, jerseys, hats,
all the
socks.
Stuff, baby.
You can get all the stuff at the store.
I am looking forward to the game tonight. I was going to go to the George Washington game, and then something came up, and I had to work. And now I'm excited to be a part of this one. This is fun. I think Chris May, the athletic director, I think he is correct. I don't know if this is the best basketball building in the country, but it's got to be one of them. It's a perfect size. It is loud. There is not a bad seat in that place.
What are you comparing it to personally? I have to admit, I've not been to a lot of basketball buildings because I've been to hockey arenas, right?
I mean, yeah, I've been to a lot of the Missouri Valley schools. I think it's better than Carbondale. I think it's better than – I've not been to Missouri State. I think it's better than where Bradley plays at Carver Arena, which is it's a fine building. That's where the Peoria Rivermen.
Yeah.
They play in the same place. or they did. Redbird Arena, where Illinois State plays, I think is a really good arena. It's about the same size, very similar in terms of seating. But Chaffetz Arena is really nice. It's modern. And it's just a great place to go see a game. I know tonight will be very, very difficult. You can get tickets on the secondary market. I have not looked today, and I'll do that during the break. But looking yesterday, I mean, the cheapest ticket close to a couple $100.
No,
because it is sold out, and that's what I want. You know, I know it feels inaccessible for some people who want to go, but it is ultimately very, very good for the city. It's good for the university to have a basketball program that sells out.
Yeah.
It's objectively good to have a team where it's difficult to get a ticket, or if you want it on the secondary market, you might have to pay a few $100s. That's good for us.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be loud tonight.
It's going to be very loud. And looking at you in a basketball jersey and a hat, this is very funny to me. You look like a hip-hop. You look like a hip-hop dancer.
I know. Matt said it looks like a music video coming out.
It does. It looks like you're about to start doing some choreographed number.
I think this should be my style. And I just, I go teach the West County Christian Home Educators. I'm like, let's talk about Charles Dickens. And I never address the hat and the jersey.
That's
I never address it. Just as my new look.
Like, what is going on here? Hey, the men's soccer team here at St. Louis University had a fantastic run this past season. They went all the way to the Final Four, and the head coach of that team, Kevin Kalish, will join us when we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX.
NeoVitan began with one doctor's mission to help others feel their best. After years of caring for patients, Dr. Ken Ribicki, a St. Louis physician, created NeoVitan, a line of multivitamins designed with quality, safety, and everyday wellness in mind. Each formula is made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients to support real people living real lives. Discover the difference today with NeoVitan, available at Schnucks, Dierbergs, and neovitan.com. NeoVitan, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This is John Pertzborn with Ben and Gentry for heatupstlouis.org.
We're the Golden Boys!
For the 26th Rise and Shine benefit.
It's Friday, February 13th.
Your lucky day to volunteer.
Or buy a sausage or egg biscuit for $1
at participating area Hardee's.
It's heatupstlouis.org to also pre-order. That's heatupstlouis.org.
Put the biscuits down, Ben.
Oi!
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history. From moment to memory.
Presenting the Barnyard Follies.
Among those voices, Bill Wilkerson.
He fakes drop sets, looking, throwing upfield. It is.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 15 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news, the Justice Department says it's releasing more than 3 million pages of documents in the latest Jeffrey Epstein disclosure. Hundreds of department attorneys have been reviewing files to black out material that could reveal the identities of victims, but some pages released are almost completely blacked out. Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered the arrest of former CNN anchor Don Lemon for covering an ICE protest at a St. Paul, Minnesota church after a judge in Minneapolis had already refused to. The charge against Lemon, based on a law that was to prevent people from blocking abortion clinic entrances. Lemon was arrested in L.A., where he was preparing to cover the Grammys. The birth rate in the United States continues to decline, and for the first time, less than half the babies being born in the U.S. are white. Dr. Amos Grunenbaum is an OBGYN professor at Northwell Health and author of the study. Grunenbaum says if the government wants to boost the nation's birth rate, it has to invest in Medicaid and other services.
You cannot, as a policymaker, simultaneously advocate for more birth while defunding safety net that serves the majority of American mothers.
He says Hispanic women are the only major group with a rising birth rate. A former St. Louis University men's basketball coach says the NCAA's open transfer portal is hurting college sports.
One of the things I enjoyed most was developing players individually on the court and seeing them get better from a freshman to a senior. Those days are over.
Travis Ford would like to see a player have to sit out a year when transferring schools unless he's following a coach to another school. It could be the hottest ticket in the history of St. Louis University basketball as Chaffetz Arena, the 21st nationally ranked Billikens, take on Dayton tonight, and KMOX will have the game broadcast with Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. tonight at 7. From the KMOX business desk, St. Louis is a sports town, and WashU will now have a bigger hand in preparing the sports industry's future stars. Starting in the fall, the university will be offering a master's business of sports program. Executive Director Dr. Patrick Risch says one of the ways the industry is changing is through use of AI-driven analytics and predictive modeling.
It's probably no surprise that here in a baseball town like St. Louis, we have 6 young alums who work across the league for baseball analytics with the Cubs, with the Yankees, with the Pirates. So a lot of these kids coming into the program, they're hoping to also get involved in analytics either on or off the field.
Risch adds there are new opportunities for careers in digital social media and with expansion of women's professional sports franchises.
Sunshine mixing with clouds, brisk and very cold this afternoon, high 19. Plenty of clouds along with a flurry or two this evening. Some clearing late tonight and frigid, the low 3. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, brisk and cold, high just 22. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have sunny skies, 15 degrees in Florissant. It's 17 in St. Peters, 15 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Somehow.
Man, it's the final hour of the show. Gas House Gang is coming up with Matt Pauley and Nate Gatter. That'll be at 12 o'clock today. I'm sure they'll talk a little Billikens basketball. We are going to be talking to the head soccer coach, the men's coach at St. Louis University. Kevin Kalish is scheduled to be with us momentarily. And they just had a fantastic season. And you were talking, Amy, about I think a party you were at.
Yeah.
And I went to a watch party at Ballpark Village at Sports and Social. And there were a lot of people. That was the, I believe it was the official watch party.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there.
It's so much fun. And like what athletic director Chris May was saying, how nothing really is like sports when it comes to just being a magnificent billboard for your university. And it's so great to see Billiken soccer make it to the Final Four, and that nod to the history of the sport in St. Louis. Of course, we know soccer has such deep roots here in St. Louis. And, tonight, people across the country are talking about St. Louis University. They're talking about Billikens basketball, and it's something you don't want to take for granted. Have fun with it. Lean into it. It does so much for a university, for a city. I loved that Chris May said, oh, yeah, you can track, like after a big run and with a sports team like the soccer team, like basketball, the admissions and the interest in the university for prospective students.
Well, it is, like sports or not, it's the best marketing tool a university can have. because if your school is good at the big ones, like if you're good at basketball in particular, football, there are a lot of people who want to go to Alabama as students just because the football program is historically good. Same thing for Ohio State and Michigan and schools like that. And even if you become a great basketball school, it'll do the same exact thing for you. Think about Gonzaga and the program they've built over about 20 years. They were just kind of a mid-major like SLU is, or, Missouri State or Illinois State or, SIU Carbondale, very similar. But they built themselves into this program, and their enrollment has gone up significantly as a result of it. So for the universities, it's really great to have something like this. For I would say the local pride kind of thing, and you were talking about people who did not go to SLU, who are fans of the program.
Whole families,
It's local pride.
It is.
It's local pride because it is a city team that is doing well, and you don't have to go very far to go watch them play. And I think the Billikens logo is, there are a lot of people wearing Billikens stuff.
Yeah.
When the basketball team is good and you're out and about and you see
Yeah.
the Billikens logo, you think, hey, Bills, go Bills, right? You don't probably actively think that when they're not so good. So I love that city pride and everybody knowing that there's something special going on right now. And I hope it continues tonight. I hope they're able to make it to the tournament down the road. But enjoy this while it's happening because this is good for St. Louis.
I know we are waiting on Kevin Kalish. Now, would you want me to pivot and do a 180 about a story that I teased at the beginning of the show?
I would love
while
to hear
we're
this.
waiting?
Is this about the lady who
68-year-old
fought off
lady?
an attacker?
I mean, you think about this. So this was in Florissant. So Peggy Janis was in the Grandview Plaza parking lot when she gave this interview to KSDK. But on January 22nd, she's a local hairstylist, 68 years old, was finishing up errands ahead of the snowstorm, right? Mm-hmm. You remember the snow we got.
I do.
Remember, some of it's still here. She just left Schnucks, and she had gone into the Walgreens at Grandview Plaza to get a few items. She returned to her car, a 2014 Ford Escape, and she felt like a presence behind her. She then heard a man, it was a 40-year-old J.R. Robbins, say, "There's a gun at your back, give me your keys." And Janice said, I turned around, Peggy Janis, I turned around in disbelief. I thought it was somebody playing a joke on me. So I said, "I'm not going to give you my keys." Quote, "And then I realized it was real and the fight was on."
Okay.
Yeah, 60 years old. What followed, again, this is according to the KSTK story, was a desperate physical struggle that spanned the parking lot. Peggy Janis says she wasn't just thinking about the car, she was thinking about her work supplies and a bank bag from the salon. She said the man kept lunging at her. "We were fighting and fighting," she said. Then he got the gun out, aimed it at me, and went boom like this, gesturing how she tried to strike the weapon away. He was kind of flying that way, and then all of a sudden we twirled around again. He got my purse, and I said, "Just take my purse." He said, "No, I want your keys." And she said, "You're not getting my keys."
Oh.
So the fight continued. And then it said, during the altercation, J.R. Robbins fired a gunshot into the ground. And Peggy said, "My first thought was, coward, you're not shooting me." So then we fought some more. This is a really
this woman's
long
68?
fight. 68 years old, yeah. She said, in the chaos, he grabbed the key to her electric bike rather than the car ignition, but he tried to put the electric bike key into the car ignition and went, uh-oh. He turned around and looked at me, just like his mugshot, and he took off running. Peggy is a hell of a woman.
Man, what is she? Does she have combat training, or is she just?
No, she's a hairstylist.
She's a hairstylist, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
the suspect was wearing a Montreal Expos jacket.
I kind of appreciate the.
There is so much in this
drip.
story. The police got him. They stayed inside the home. They seized a 9mm revolver, a shell casing, and the Expos jacket.
Oh.
I know. They took the Expos jacket.
Ah, come on, man.
He does have a history. So Peggy suffered a sprained wrist and lost several fingernails in the fight. I know.
Fingernails.
So many fingernails that the police used evidence markers to identify them on the pavement.
Wow.
Despite the trauma, she went back to work the following day. I feel proud of myself, Janice said. When I realized it was real, that's when I had already said, you're not getting my keys. So that's when it was on, and I had to back up what I said. Now, police are saying while her bravery is evidence, they do not condone or encourage you to fight back like that.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm guessing with fingernails that they might have been like a dip.
Yeah, they're probably
not
real
like
fingernails.
the real fingernails. Yeah, like because that would be very painful. I don't think you could work the next day if you lost your fingernails.
No, they would hurt.
They would be like acrylics.
Yeah, but good for her, man. Just kicking some guys.
This is the most unbelievable story. The fight was so long. The fight seems like a movie fight.
Mm-hmm. Well,
where people get punched. I mean, it's a fight. Fights are tough. They're the hardest thing.
You've never been in a fight.
I know this though. I know I've seen enough Bonanza episodes to know.
Bonanza?
Yeah.
What are you, 100?
Maybe. Little
Dude,
Joe?
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Michael Landon?
I know who Michael Landon is.
I can't believe you don't know who Little
Michael
Joe
Landon,
is.
died of pancreatic cancer or something, right?
I don't. That's sad. I
It was
think
like
so, but
pancreatic
that's not
cancer?
what we're talking about. I bet.
That's how I know. And Little House on the Prairie,
do you
that was
think
him, yeah?
any of these students in the Grilliken know what Bonanza is?
No, that's why I'm really embarrassed you brought it up.
Matt, our producer.
Pajeski is 25.
Yeah, but you watch
and he knows
Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke.
But yes, I will say that the fights go on way too long in the movies and in the TV shows. People get punched in the face. They get punched in the stomach. They always get a bottle over their head.
That's in a bar. That's in a bar usually.
A saloon.
A saloon, yes.
Yes, they get a bottle over their head. One of those would knock you out. You'd be done for. You get punched in the face once.
Well, you get cut too.
And you would get cut.
Mm-hmm.
I also think in the movies, there was a Hallmark movie where one of the guys got shot.
In a Hallmark movie?
Right? It grazed his arm.
Of course it did.
But even then, I feel like
he
handled it a little too well. People in movies handle those things very well.
Like getting shot or stabbed or
yeah.
whatever.
Have you ever shut your finger in a drawer? That's how, like, I act more to that than they act to getting shot.
Yeah, I think you would. I actually would kind of like to see you in a fight, see how it goes.
It wouldn't go well. I'm not a good fighter at all.
We're hoping to talk to Kevin Kalish, who is the men's soccer coach at St. Louis University, Final Four team. And we are hoping to be able to congratulate him on that. It is the Chris and Amy show. Nate Gatter and Matt Pauley have the Gas House Gang today. Don't forget about that. And on the Gas House Gang, they will be talking to Zach Bover, who is one of the coaches of the men's team, a men's basketball team, that is. They take on Dayton tonight at Chaffetz Arena. The Billiken Blizzard happens here. Sold-out arena. That's what's going on tonight. Really looking forward to it. Huge event here in St. Louis. It's a Chris and Amy show from the Billiken Grill at the Student Center on the SLU campus on KMOX.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please, God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Straight Talk presents
the math of more. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-932-5858. That's 800-932-5858. 800-932-5858.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service. Classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Right foot in swinger. Just in front of the goal, header by DiFrancesco, tipped up by Abinell, follow-up is knocked away again. Abinell once, twice, and thrice. He says no, no, and never to NC State. The ball is out over the byline for a Billikens goal kick. Jeremy Abinell again has sent the blue and white across the way into a frenzy.
The men's soccer team at St. Louis University went to the Final Four this past season. A fantastic year for them. And we are going to be talking in just a moment to Kevin Kalish, the head men's soccer coach of that. And the Billikens, man, just top to bottom, there's a lot to celebrate. The men's basketball team tonight against Dayton, they are off to a 20-1 season. It's their best ever start. And, of course, the men's soccer team, which has a long, historic program. And they continued that this past season with the Final Four appearance. And now we are joined by Kevin Kalish, the coach of that program. Kevin, first of all, congratulations on the Final Four. It's a great achievement, and that season was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was. Kind of a magical run for the team, obviously, to win the A-10 regular season, the A-10 tournament, and then get to the College Cup. So definitely great momentum, and our guys did a great job.
Because the last time we talked, was it at the Billikens tournament, the golf tournament at Norwood Country Club?
That's
and
right.
We were talking about the upcoming season, and that game, watching, and of course, like SLU lost 2-1 to NC State in the Final Four. But we were talking about the watch parties and the way St. Louis was behind that team. And I was at a Christmas party, and they just, you turn on the biggest TV in the house, and everyone's crammed in the room and yelling and cheering. And you were at a watch party at Ballpark Village.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to see the Billikens and that big of a game.
Yeah, that puts a smile on my face just to to hear the stories of the watch parties and the impact that the team made and how much it brought the community together. And I think St. Louisans take pride in their teams. And I think, we're very proud to represent St. Louis. And it was, it was just an awesome experience to be a part of it. But then it's unbelievable to hear the stories on the back end of just the guys jumping out of your seats, and I had some friends who reached out and said their kids were crying at the end of the last game. Just the impact that it made, I think, was definitely something we're very proud of.
You always go into a season optimistic, but when did you know this one was going to be a special one?
Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest. We did a great job of really staying in the moment and really, I know it's a cliche a bit, but really kind of one game at a time. 20 out of the 24 games that we played this year were were decided by a goal or less.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can kind of like just think about that for a second. Now, we only ended up losing 3 games all year, but 20 out of 24 were always really razor tight. So I don't think the group ever really felt like we had this thing under full control and we were dominating teams from start to finish. And it wasn't that kind of group. It was a group that knew that they had to get all the details right, that they had to get the overall attitude and mentality of the team right, the togetherness, the culture, and I think and then trust that guys were going to step up and make plays. And I think that was the great thing about the group. Obviously, Jeremy Abedel, our goalkeeper, did it numerous times throughout the year. But then as the year went on, you started to see other guys step up and really make plays in key moments. That's what you need to win in the postseason.
Did he stop 1 or 2 penalty kicks in that final game?
He stopped one.
Okay.
He stopped one in the final game against NC
huge.
State. Right.
Yes.
He almost made the abnormal look normal.
Yes.
Throughout the year, I think if I think out of the I think he faced, I want to say, including penalty shootouts, he faced I think 3 or 4 in games. And saved all 4 in the run of play, and then obviously in the penalty shootouts he was phenomenal. So it's. Yeah, his performance was something definitely that you don't see very often in terms of a goalkeeper just dominating games.
That was one of those moments, I'm sure you felt that at the watch party, where, a penalty shot. We all know the odds. That's so tough, And
that was a moment.
When the goalie made the save, I think we were the loudest for that.
The place erupted. At Sports and Social. That was a really cool moment.
Yeah. It was it kept us in it. I think if Drake's shot at the end goes in. It was barely deflected at the end there. We're 2-2, and we could be having a little different conversation here.
We talked to Chris May about this. What a successful season does for recruiting, what it does for the university in general, just by name recognition, getting the Billikens out there. But for you, in terms of recruiting for the next season, how much of a bump did you see, and how does that show up?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. One, we retained everybody. So our core group of this team was pretty young still, right? 3/4 of the team was underclassmen, and we graduated 5 guys. So we weren't looking for, a ton in the recruiting space. But we wanted to fill the spots we needed based on graduation. Guys graduated and moving on. So and the portal was it was obviously something that was challenging because you're in the portal opens right when you're kind of in the Sweet 16, and so you're dealing with the portal and you're trying to get your team ready for the next round. And I thought our staff did an unbelievable job of really trying to multitasking and managing through that. And we got 5 fantastic players that we think will come in and really solidify our team for 2026.
Yeah, looking at 2026, is it, full throttle all the way through to try to get back there? Because you have the returning players who want to get back, who want to win, who remember that. But you don't always have, like you said, in college sports because things can move around, but you've got quite a few returning players. Yeah,
I think optimistically, our goal every year is to win a national title and to get in the postseason, get the NCAA tournament, give yourself a chance. So those goals will remain the same. Obviously, a 26 team, it's a brand new team, even though it's a lot of remaining players. It's a brand new group, and we just got to focus on doing the right things and put ourselves in that position. And then obviously, when we get in that position again, I think we'll have the experience, hopefully, to really win those games to get us to the College Cup and hopefully take the next step. I talked to the head coach at Washington who ended up winning it. He's a good friend of mine. We were the same year in college, and we played together in summers, our junior and senior year. And he said, "Hey, look, I watched your team. You did a fantastic job." He goes, "For what it's worth," he goes, they beat us in 21 to get to the Final Four. We had a really good Elite Eight team, but he says it usually takes getting there once and getting a feel for it before you're going to get to that next one and win it. So there's, I think it's something to be said, getting there obviously and having that experience. And now our job now is to get there again and win it next time around.
You've got several players on your team from St. Louis, from the immediate area. You've got some from Springfield. You've got guys from all over too. You got a guy from Liverpool. When you're focusing your recruiting, how focused are you on the St. Louis area immediately before you start to branch out?
Yeah, that's our first priority. So obviously we know that it's probably unrealistic that St. Louis is going to fulfill every need that we have within the team at every position. But definitely our first priority. So if we're looking at trying to find hypothetically a left back or a right back or a center back or whatever it is, we'll look for St. Louis first. And if that player's in our market, that'll be our priority. And that's and if it's not in our market, then we'll either go portal or we'll obviously look outside domestically or internationally. So. But, yeah, I'm a firm believer in the St. Louis player. I think St. Louis produces the best players in the country. They have for decades now. I don't think that's changed. So we're always going to be a very St. Louis-focused, Midwest-focused type team. It just kind of fits our values and fits our identity as a program. And, I see that continuing on for many years to come.
Kevin will appreciate this. Raj, didn't you say you were left back?
That was the bus would leave and I get left back.
Okay.
Have you heard that one before? that was my position.
Hard to find left backs these days. Lefties are hard to find.
Yeah, that's what I hear. And so we always, and I think we probably did this too when we talked back at the Billikens Golf Classic. The environment in St. Louis for soccer and how strong of a soccer market it is. And I grew up knowing that. I mean, I didn't really play very much, but I had friends who did. I went to Granite City, and it's a big soccer town over there. How much different is the soccer market now than it was 20 or 30 years ago?
No, I think it's just a continuation. I think it's actually expanded. I think when you and I were growing up, CYC maybe was kind of prevalent, and then you played for your grade school, and you played for your high school. I think the landscape has changed in that way with the evolution of academies and obviously our MLS team and things of that nature. But in terms of, I actually think that there's more kids playing. There's there's maybe not as, I think the same amount of elite talents coming out. You only get maybe a handful of guys that are elite, but then that next tier of guys is massive on the both women and men. There's just so many good kids, and I think it's generational. I always say we're blessed to have a lot of very good coaches coaching our clubs in the youth area here, but a lot of it is generational. It's like the grandparents passing on to the parents who pass on to their kids, and it's that importance of soccer, or that soccer being ingrained into the family's kind of identity in some ways. And I think that's continued on, and I think it'll continue on for many decades to come.
So now off season, what does it look like for the team? Do you send them off and say stay in shape, or do you guys have little camps you can do?
Yeah.
Don't let yourself go, buddy.
You know what? We were advised by our medical team to actually give them a month off, or at least a couple of weeks. Their bodies had been going for a pretty long time, so they had we finished December 12th, and then we started school January 12th, so they had those 4 weeks, and now we're kind of building back up here, starting kind of obviously in the weight room 3 days a week, and started to build our fitness base up again, and just kind of trying to build this identity as a team, our culture, and kind of integrate the new guys, and stay focused on what makes us us.
Have you ever actually seen an out of shape soccer player?
Yes,
you have.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
it's all relative.
It's all soccer out of shape.
Yeah, soccer out of shape.
Yeah, what is soccer out of shape?
Like, so we get body fat tested. So, we would say our guys we want them anywhere between 8 to 12. Okay. Right. So I would get mine. I'm like 25 in perspective, right? And we've had guys that were in the 21 range at times, and we said that, you got to really focus on your diet. So, I mean, it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, but we definitely, we like to run here at SLU, so you have to be able to run.
What's bad for a soccer diet?
Oh.
Yeah, I think obviously fried foods and just
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, a lot of sugar.
She's been talking about
material.
Processed
foods.
Yeah.
It's funny. One of my friends ran cross country at LSU, so D1 LSU cross country runner, and there was, I don't know if it was maybe a walk-on soccer player or trying to be walk-on, didn't make the team or got cut. Somehow he didn't make the team, and he was mad about it, and he made the cross country team at LSU at D1.
Wow.
Just that quickly, and my friend said the cross country team was then kind of PO'd because here's this soccer player who this was this backup plan is you could just run D1 as a soccer player. That's insane.
That is, yeah.
That's insane.
So guys do, just the numbers that we have. Obviously, they have their trackers right on their chest that they play, and the amount of ground they're covering in miles during a game is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Well, Kevin Kalish, so when do things start to pick back up for you?
Yeah, we're end of February. We'll have like a first spring game. So we'll go up to Northwestern and play them inside.
You think they're nervous to play you?
Northwestern?
Yeah.
No.
No,
I mean,
they
it's
should
like
be.
they're big. They're a very
They
good
should
team.
be.
They're always top 50. They're always. And then
They didn't go to any Final Four.
That's right. I appreciate that. And then Indiana will come. We'll play Indiana again in April, which would be a good rematch for obviously from when we played them in the tournament. Always a fun game, and I had a few other good ones.
Well, the next time we talk to you, shoot for 8 to 12%.
I'm working on
fat.
it. I'm working on it. We got some work to do.
Leave him alone.
8 to 12.
We got some work. I'm like,
he's got film to watch. He doesn't have time to be doing all. Just leave
Get on
him
one of
alone.
those treadmill desks.
He just went to a
that's
Final
right.
Four.
There you go.
He just went to a Final Four. Get off his case.
He's the one that told me 8 to 12.
Yeah, but he's the coach. He doesn't have to. He's not out there on the team.
I'm just saying.
Kevin Kalish, you're doing great. Don't listen to Amy. Don't listen to us, actually.
Yeah.
But we
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
you. Congratulations on a great season.
Appreciate
Let's
it.
keep it going.
Thanks so much.
That is head men's soccer coach Kevin Kalish here at St. Louis University. It's Chris and Amy. We are broadcasting from the Billiken Grill on the Student Center area. We're here on campus, and we're getting ready for Billiken's basketball tonight against Dayton. It is the Billiken Blizzard here in St. Louis. You're listening to KMOX.
January in St. Louis isn't for hot takes. It's for people who know the game. From Cardinals spring training and NFL playoffs to the transfer portal and the Blues playoff push, the Gas House Gang breaks it all down. Ackerman, Ranchi, Miklas, and Claiborne have covered it all, and they break it down the right way.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Daily at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, America's sports voice.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Plus, this month only, sign and drive a new Genesis with only your first payment due at signing. And leases start as low as $319 a month. That's right, $319 a month with only your first payment due at signing. We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. Unapproved credit. See dealer for details. Offer ends 1/31/26.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is 15 degrees and sunny in St. Louis. The high will be 19, a low of 4 tonight, and there might be a flurry or two.
Soulard is going to the dogs. Make sure to bring your four-legged friend to the streets of Soulard for the 33rd annual Purina Pet Parade, the world's largest costume pet parade. It all starts at 12th and Allen, Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. And KMOX's own Dave Glover will be leading the pack as the parade's Grand Marshal. Sign up today to march in the parade with your dog. The event supports Open Door Animal Sanctuary. For more details, PurinaPetParade.com. Don't miss this annual St. Louis Mardi Gras tradition, sponsored by Purina.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel, folks. That's right. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, and one final chance to place your bets before the NFL season comes to an end. Super Bowl 60 is happening soon, just over a week away from that. And FanDuel making sure you're getting in on it. If you're a new customer, you can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So if you're backing the favorite, that's Seattle in this one, New England is the underdog, you can build one last same-game parlay if you want. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, football season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
In St. Louis, the weather can change in an instant. One day, you're under a thunderstorm warning. The next,
oh boy, it's snowing.
Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. When weather threatens, the KMOX Storm Center has expert forecasts and live reports here to keep you safe and informed. Don't get caught off guard. Know your weather. Sponsored by
Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Attention, Missouri baby boomers. The Give 5 program wants to connect you with volunteer opportunities that fit your skills and passions. Learn how you can lend a helping hand and bring positive change to those who need it most in just 5 hours a month. Signing up is easy. Just attend our next free class in your local community. Visit our website at MissouriGive5.org to find a class near you. Brought to you by Missouri Area Agencies on Aging.
It's men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take to the court to take on Dayton. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
We are live on the SLU campus, final hour. Actually, just a few more moments to go here on the Chris and Amy Show. Then it's the Gas House Gang with Nate Gatter and Matt Pauley. They're going to talk to Zach Bovair, who is one of the assistant basketball coaches for the men's team. They play Dayton tonight. It's the Billiken Blizzard. So a really fun night here in St. Louis coming up. And again, Gas House Gang at 12. Now we are joined by the Assistant Vice President of Student Financial Services, Alex Delonis, who's with us. And we were just talking about, admissions and, the interest in the university, and especially after some successful sports programs. You've had soccer go to the Final Four, and now the basketball team is doing what it's doing and raising the profile. First things first, thank you for being with us, Alex.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
And secondly, how much does this help? What do these sports programs and the success do for the university?
Oh, it's a tremendous help. Sports often are times that people interact with the university for the first time, right? Or even if they have no affiliation with the university in any way whatsoever, it's a great way to get St. Louis people talking about St. Louis University and engaging and choosing to engage with us further, which could absolutely mean increased applications and students just learning about, taking the first step of learning a little bit more about SLU and thinking, oh, I could maybe go there, earn a degree, and kind of continue moving forward from there. So we love to see it. Anytime something like this happens, and there's great things to talk about SLU, it helps the university in general for sure.
So you have students who are, like you said, local or from across the country, interested in St. Louis University, and the high academic standards. We've seen the athletic programs. You see the new facilities across the entire campus, like how beautiful they are. This private university. There might be some students who think, well, that sounds really nice, but there's no way I can afford a private university like St. Louis University.
Sure.
How would you start that conversation?
Yeah, so and that's kind of the direction we were going in with the tuition promise, right? We could have phrased that initiative in a lot of different ways. Having the income piece was very important. I don't know when's the last time you or someone you know has done a FAFSA, but it can be a very confusing process.
Oh my gosh, my friend has just gone through it with like 6 kids, right?
Oh, bless her.
It's a full-time job, and it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Absolutely. So, when you have a sophomore or a junior in high school, for them to figure out whether or not a certain college is going to be affordable for them, a lot of times it's not until they go through the entire process and complete a FAFSA and get to the end where they get an aid offer, and then even being able to digest the information after that. We're telling students, as long as you know what your family household income is, this is what you can expect from us. And that's very, very early on, before they complete a FAFSA, before they engage with SLU. That's something that the family has that information at their fingertips at that time before they ever engage with the university, is what the transparency piece, and knowing that we can be affordable, and not just looking at, whatever our tuition and published tuition and fees are, understanding that that's not what we're going to ask that family to pay in the end.
So how is the university able to do that? Because if the money has to come from somewhere.
Sure.
So how does this work?
Yeah, so we rely on the support from our alumni, from the friends and family of the university, to help fund student scholarships, and that is at the core of it. And the university, of course, provides support through the endowment and other funds to help make sure that we can fund this for students.
And forgive me if we said this, but just to kind of reiterate, with the tuition promise, that it would be full undergraduate tuition would be covered up to 10 semesters through gift aid from all sources, including federal or state. And then you kind of lay out the parameters, like a combined parent adjusted gross income of $60,000 or less.
Yep.
Combined parent assets of $50,000 or less. And then kind of the basic, be a first-time, full-time freshman entering at SLU and so forth.
Yes. Yeah. We put those, we lay all of that out, again, very transparently.
Yeah.
So that folks know we're not moving anything around later on in the end. Like if that's what you meet, now we do require the FAFSA for us to learn that information. But as long as that's the information that you're presenting in the FAFSA, that's what kind of aid package that families can expect. And
this one's the 3.0 high school GPA or higher as well.
Yep, 3.0 high school GPA, which, like as you mentioned, our admission standards, which aligns very close with our admission standards there as well.
Talking about SLU tuition promise, which again, college is expensive, and there's no getting around it. It's pretty much every university, any four-year school you're going to find in the country. It's a lot of money, and especially the private schools. You've got the threshold for what a family needs to earn or earn under in order to be eligible for this. What about people who are just right over that mark? Because it is, I mean, hell, if a family makes $65,000 total, that's not a whole lot more money than 60. So what is a family like that? What sort of resources do they have?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So we encourage everyone to go through the process, right? And first off, we do have calculators on our website that someone could fill out without even doing a FAFSA, without applying to the institution, and it will give them a rough estimate on what an aid package they can expect from the university. If they go through the full process, I think they'd be pleasantly surprised. I think when the general population thinks about the cost of college, they're looking at the sticker price that a university will put on their website, right? But again, I would encourage families to go through that process with SLU. And there's many times where a family in that income bracket, we are more affordable than maybe the neighborhood public university. I think it's just the perception that may prevent them, right, from going that far. But I will say that no one invests in St. Louis University students more than St. Louis University. We give our students more aid than any other source, and that includes the feds, that includes the state. We give out about $330 million in scholarships each year. And a lot of that is awarded upon admission, but a lot of that is by doing that FAFSA and completely going through the process. So while a family might not, qualify for the promise, I still think that they would get a fantastic aid package from us that is specific to their needs and their situations, and we can work with them from there.
This obviously is not related to the promise, but just aid in general. If maybe parents are listening, they have kids in college. It's hard to pick a college. You're 17, 18 years old, and you may decide, you know what, I want to transfer. I want to go back, to St. Louis. I want to go to St. Louis University. Are there still available aid packages if you're a transfer student?
Absolutely. And transfer students under a certain credit hour threshold could still actually qualify for the tuition promise as well. So we have that. But if we're talking about someone transferring in as a junior, we give them full need-based aid packages based on the information we would receive from their FAFSA. So the aid package is generally made up of kind of those two components, the merit, how much they've earned kind of academically, but then the need component. When we look at the finances, how much additional aid can we award to help meet the need and help you be able to afford a St. Louis University education.
Alex Delonis, Assistant VP of Student Financial Services at SLU. We appreciate you coming by. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We are at the Billiken Grill. We are on campus at St. Louis University. Big ball game tonight. Men's team takes on Dayton at Chaffetz Arena. The Billiken Blizzard, baby. Let's go. You're listening to KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or apply. Stop, opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. There's never a good time for your heating system to stop working. If yours does, no matter what time or day, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency HVAC service. Contact our award-winning team for 5-star heating service and stay in your comfort zone. For heating and 24/7 emergency service, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Big game, big screen, big energy at Ballpark Village, Sunday, February 8th. Enjoy the big game like you're in the end zone, featuring in-arena touchdown celebrations, band cams, contest VIP packages, and more, hosted by RDJ and DJ Dex. Save up to $10 on tickets with code KMOX. Tickets and event details at stlballparkvillage.com/events. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead. On your terms, text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. I'm joined by my friend and St. Louis real estate expert, Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, everyone knows you for your guaranteed sold program, but you also help your sellers get multiple cash offers, right?
That's right. Some sellers are looking for speed, certainty, and to avoid repairs and open houses. I just helped a family in December to sell their parents' estate. They chose me because I offered 4 cash offers at our first meeting, which gave them options picking the best cash offer. Whether it's multiple cash offers or my guaranteed sold program, my sellers are always in control to sell fast and for the most money. It's my guarantees and my buyers in waiting program that set me apart from other realtors.
If you're ready to make your move without the hassles, guaranteed, call Gloria Liu right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let's go!
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. We're getting ready to turn it over to the Gas House Gang. Matt Pauley, Nate Gatter will talk some sports with you. Billiken's Blizzard tonight. We're at the SLU campus.
Didn't you say Nate Gatter knows everything about SLU
That was
history?
Pajeski. He didn't even go to school here. You know, we were talking about people who didn't go to school here and know everything about the place. And Gatter has all kinds of historical facts. My guess is that's what the entire hour is going to be. Coming up, or at least most of it. Also, we're less than 2 weeks away from spring training.
Oh, my gosh.
Pitchers and catchers will have their first full workout in Florida in 13 days.
Now, they were supposed to send us to spring training. I thought we
there was no supposed to.
Yeah, we are KMOX. We are the
mothership
mothership of the Cardinals.
Yeah, there should be.
And we took a poll on Twitter,
and
the fans said yes, they should send us to spring training. I know Jim, who's making things on air right now, he agrees we should go to spring training.
Jim agrees,
yeah.
and apparently our boss doesn't use Twitter the way Elon does, because that's how Elon does it. He said he puts up a Twitter poll and says, "Should I fire this person?" And then whatever the people say, that's what he.
What
does.
are you talking? That's exactly how our boss would do it with us.
You think so?
Yes, I'm thinking, what if we tried to channel the Robbie Avila, Josh Schertz Twitter vibe with us against Steve on Twitter? What if we tried to have that type of familiarity, some levity, maybe add a little levity into this situation? We could use a little levity, I think.
Sure. Yeah, you're probably
And then we could get the people behind us. I do think the people want the Chris and Amy Show to go to spring training. I think it's fitting.
No, to be fair, before we move on here, if we do go to spring training, you're not getting rid of us. We're still going to be on the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that's why people were voting to send us to spring training?
Send them to Florida so we don't have to listen to them. No. You'd be listening to us from Florida.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're good friends with Ollie Marmol now after all of your Gas House Gang discussions.
Yeah, Ollie's great.
Ollie needs to know who I am, probably.
Yeah, I think he wouldn't mind meeting you.
I think the Cardinals should know who I am.
Ollie's a good guy. I think the Cardinals should know who you are. I think
it would help.
I think it's precisely why nobody talks to us. They know who you are.
Because I didn't get to tell Chaim Bloom my idea. Hashtag Chaim to fly.
Bad.
That's the new Cardinals Twitter hashtag.
Yeah, bad. Did we talk to him about it? No, you haven't been on. And
they
you've
don't.
asked me to bring it up to him.
To be honest, it's a little hurtful, and I think our listeners notice. It seems to me that Steve and KMOX tries to keep me away from the Cardinals.
You?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Have you noticed that? I haven't talked to Ollie. I haven't talked to Chaim. I'm never at the. They don't send me to the ballpark or spring. It's almost like they don't want the Cardinals to know that I'm on the flagship.
I agree. That's exactly what they're doing. And do you blame them for this?
I don't, honestly.
You know, I know that the Cardinals season coming up here, there's not a whole lot of excitement other than the general, hey, baseball's coming and can't wait for springtime, can't wait for spring training. And then baseball season's always fun just because it's baseball. Other than that, I know there isn't a ton of excitement going in because they're expected to
you never know.
Not be great.
You never know.
But, man, it is there is just something about knowing spring training is around the corner.
I think it's great. Now,
always, every year, doesn't matter what.
I agree. Now, you briefly mentioned the Super Bowl. I can't remember why or in what context.
FanDuel.
But, you talk about the commercials for a 30-second spot in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? A 30-second spot during the Super Bowl is fetching these days.
Oh, the cost?
30 seconds, half a minute.
I bet it is 15 mil.
No, and now you've ruined the game.
Why?
You overshot it. There's nothing worse than an overshoot when you're trying to impress people.
So it's $5 million.
It's $10 million.
$10 million, yeah. Still a lot of money.
The average price, not every spot is $10 million. The average is $8 million, but some of them, the key 30-second slots are $10 million. Nearly 40% of advertisers for this year's game did not advertise last year. Want to guess what a new one is?
Yes.
Guess.
That one is 10.
No, not how much it costs. Guess who's advertising? A new advertiser.
Tim Robinson?
What? The
no,
guy?
I know he's going to be in a Super Bowl commercial. Is that what you mean?
Nope. A brand. A product.
I don't know.
40% of all the ads this year, the commercials, are new products. They're not. This guy doesn't know how to play. Jim is shaking his head. Jim's going to pot you down.
GoDaddy.com.
Ozempic.
Ozempic?
They're the first.
This
is their first year advertising.
Oh. And they're 40% of the ads?
Oh, my gosh. This guy. No, 40% of new advertisers are new. And then I asked you, guess what one of the new ones is? And you said Tim Robinson. Well, you said $8 million.
I know he's going to be in a commercial.
You said $8 million. And then you said Tim Robinson.
I knew.
You weren't listening at all.
Tim is going to be in a commercial.
The way you responded is how I would respond if I had been listening to a different radio station for the past minute.
We're talking about Super Bowl commercials, and Tim's going to be in a new one. I'm excited.
But you don't know what brand he's advertising?
No, I think is it a legal thing?
Not gonna lie, the Shane Gillis, Peyton Manning, sitting on the driveway commercial, that was fun. The Bud Light commercial.
Oh, and Post Malone was in it.
Oh, maybe Post Malone, yeah.
No, I think Peyton was in them too.
Yeah.
I know, you're definitely right about that. All right, well, we got to go.
Yeah, well, that was fun.
Go. Gas House Gang's coming up. We have to go.
With Nate, Mr. Know-It-All Gatter.
He's such a know-it-all. and then Matt Pauley and the other's like, I don't know. Why are you asking me?
I do
They're
love
like two completely different people.
Matt Pauley's exasperated, I don't know.
Nate knows everything. Pauley doesn't know anything. It's amazing. How are these? Two people. It's a perfect pairing.
What do you think about the Cardinals? I don't know.
Why are you asking? God, what a dumb question. All right, Matt Pauley, Nate Gatter, Gas House Gang. They're going to talk to Zach Bovair, assistant coach for the men's Billikens basketball team. They're playing tonight against Dayton. That's at 12:30. Really fun night. We're looking forward to it tonight. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Be careful out there. Go Billikens. We will talk to you on Monday at 9 o'clock. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by LendSeek.
OpenAI is investing into a brain interface startup that plans